So, how does it feel?
Oh, uh, it's great. I honestly never imagined that Team Tripants would win the Battle Operation Championships. You know, I will say we had a lot of good effort. I had I had fellow clans GS3 and M&G that we had clan practice matches against. Honestly, it's really great that they were there to support us. I can't. I hate that they made it. Or I hate that they couldn't make it. Magnum intensified a little bit too hard during the last practice match. Threw out his intensify bone. It was the worst. And everybody was asleep at GS3, so they couldn't make the clan matches. Those things are at 6 o'clock in the morning. But I just want to I appreciate everyone's help and support. Thank you, Mom. Everyone at the GamingEmblem community, and fuck you, Kobe.
Let's go.
Nah, Kobe's a good guy. He writes very nice letters. Rangers, I don't have much time. Rita has sent monsters into the city, and if you don't hurry, it's going to destroy at least a couple of buildings.
We need GBO2 players with Ethernet connections.
Yeah. We're cutting on you, GBO players. I need Rangers with Wi-Fi.
Oh god, no.
Wi-Fi warriors, I'm counting on you.
Oh no. The horror. Say it ain't so, Zordon.
This is when the theme song would start playing, but it has to buffer.
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of Downtime in the Hangar, where we talk about all things GBO2 and tangent a bit sometimes. A lot. But anyway, today I'm joined by Gustav the 13th.
Yep.
And GamingEmblem.
How's it going, guys?
So, your guys' week, Gustav?
The same. I'd love to say that it's changed, but it has not. And honestly, that's probably a good thing. Just been going on with Word to Skya. Finally got my entire rig set up now, so I got the graphics card and all that in here too.
No
Hopefully this thing lasts me for a hot minute, because I'm not going to be spending like that again for a while.
But yeah, what graphics card did you get?
I think it was just the 2060.
Noise?
Trying to start Bitcoin farming, Gustav?
Oh my god.
There you go.
No, but it's nice that Streamlabs doesn't chug or anything like that. That's the bigger thing for this too, just for like content.
Yeah, that's one reason why I've been wanting to finally get a newer setup, because both of these setups used to be new at one point, and now, yeah, that thing over there I think is now hitting 11 years old.
Nice.
Or longer now, because yeah, I built that in college, so
it has been a little bit.
My PC's pretty much right there with you. Although I've freshened up the parts over time. Although I should probably look into replacing the case at some point.
Mm.
In fact, because the case is the original. Everything else has probably been swapped out to some degree.
I mean, depending on the case, though, like as long as there's just not like something growing in it, you're fine with the case.
No, we need to get like a swag-tastic.
Okay, or
like
okay,
plexiglass-sided case.
This was my settle for whatever case. Honestly, I remember when I was first buying it, there was this awesome orange case that I wanted to get. It looked fucking beast, and I would love to go back and get it at some. Or it's probably gone. Let's be real, but something similar.
Right.
Like a little orange case, look cool.
But yeah, the one I've got over there is one of the Thor cases from I think it's Roseville. But
okay.
Yeah.
So it's like meow meow swinging Thor.
But yeah, it's got like 2 giant fans in the top, 1 giant fan on the front, 1 on the side, obviously the exhaust fan. But yeah, it's got all the airflow. So, and because there's that big of fans, like it is pretty quiet. Like you can't really hear anything from that thing because it's moving so much air through it. That's really nice.
That's what's up.
Yeah. The only thing is if it ever gets hot or you know, like when the AC breaks, then
Oh,
I
so
can
it
hear
goes.
that thing rev up because
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
been there, done that. Like it finally got like
Sweated into a PlayStation during clan match.
Airliner mode activates.
Jetstream attack turn on.
My
oh,
jet stream attack.
actually, yeah, I've got a Jetstream fan button here on the laptop somewhere. Like it literally, it just sounds. It turns into straight up jet engine. Yeah,
Jet engine.
but yeah. So
That was Gustav's week, right?
Geese. Yes.
Honk.
Huh.
Um, as far as my stuff's going, I was pretty stoked. PSO2 day is today, actually.
yeah,
And I was grinding on that a little bit late night, early this morning. Didn't get any 13 stars, even though some dude that joined my party after I've been grinding for a bit got one before I did, and I never
He's like,
did.
oh man.
It's the
oh
worst.
man.
I'm just gonna tell myself he
wait
had
till I
like
join you here in like
Time to push him off a cliff
a
or something like
week
goodbye.
and play for like 10 minutes and be like, oh look, I got 13 stars.
Isn't that great?
yeah, we'll see. Just make sure you're using your boosters, bud.
Oh no, I won't even have to use a booster, I believe.
Yeah, let me know
Remember
how.
Path of
Let's see.
Exile?
Hopefully, it wasn't that bad. I'm used to it. But we'll see what happens. Magnum won't get all the loot, but there's actually a contest going on right now. There's a Twitter contest where you can take a screenshot of your character and tweet it to them with the hashtag PSO2 giveaway or something, and you can send them a screenshot of your character in
Oh
game.
my god.
And my phone's a little messy, man. I was looking at the screen. It's like, oh my gosh.
So I
Taking
heard
too
you
many
have to
phone calls.
have premium though to do the screenshots like that.
You don't have to have premium. I just hit the print screen button, and the folder or the file was in my
Okay.
pictures or my pictures
Well, I mean, like
cached
some
or
people
whatever.
were taking some really like crazy camera angle screenshots.
There are some lighting effects and stuff that you have to have premium in order to play
Oh,
around
maybe
with.
that's what it was.
Okay.
But
That makes
there
more
are
sense. Ow, ow, ow.
there are. I mean, you wouldn't be able to take the official screenshots, because I think when I was trying it messed up. But I mean, you could always just download GS Shader and do your own stuff on a premium. You know what I'm saying? I did it last night.
But yeah, good
But
luck. I'm
that's
guessing that's your submitted
yeah.
one.
I need to get my free stuff. People might be thinking, "Oh, that's a 10 spin," but that's also several purchases of inventory expansion for my character. That's what I really want.
For real though, right? Oh my gosh.
Running out of
Plenty more
space.
inventory space for real. I mean, I got plus 10, so I'm at 60, and I still like need more room, man.
Yeah, I
gotta
hit
cash out.
I just hit inventory space today and I was like, oh no. This is not
Oh
good.
no. The
You will do that a
real
lot.
challenge begins now.
Yeah. Like I was saying the other day, PSO2 is 99% inventory management, 0.09% fashion, and 0.01% gameplay.
Yeah. You're literally just doing the same gameplay to be like, look at my stuff. This deluxe thing from this event. It's like the epitome of like the grind for MMOs. Like whenever you see it in like anime and shit like that, that's the kind of games that they're referencing.
Oh, for sure.
I do like though that there seems to be like an area to do harder content though. That's going to be the thing that either keeps me or loses me.
Is it time to recharge, Magnum?
Time for
Might
something.
be.
I don't know what that is. I have to check this one out. But yeah, what else
Here's
did you have go on this week?
here's your receipt, Magnum.
Besides that, I've probably been doing the same thing that Gustav has been doing during my gratuitous amounts of kind of less right now, amounts of free time. You know, there's always romancing Saga
Yep.
Re-Universe.
I finally
That
downloaded that.
That is almost phased out heroes for me. Like I keep forgetting, shit, I gotta log in for my orbs, and it's just like, but also I need to keep making sure everyone's doing their expeditions and shit.
I know. Gustav's gonna go down or play Fire Emblem Heroes, and then like his romancing saga like starts like his S rank Gustav starts honking at
Notification.
him. The geese is lease. Let me in.
Put me in that dojo, god damn it. Look, what do you mean? Oh god,
Yeah,
sorry.
pretty much. You're gonna beat the hell out of that punching bag, man.
I need those PCs.
Man, just finish up my training right now. You get pieces for leveling up your characters. You
So-
gotta stay in there.
You gotta expand that level cap.
Yeah, buddy.
So how does 'cause-
I'm over here in a bowling oak in space,
yeah, I've
and
got-
I'm just like
Oh,
flailing at nothing.
Oh gosh. I've got the sun in my hands. Blind their eyes, oh blazing phone of the sun.
Oh my
Behold!
shining. Ah,
Shining good. Oh, speaking of that, Maxi Boost is gonna be happening later on today.
shining
And Maxi Boost.
finger.
Oh gosh. Magnum's love, his anger, and all of his sorrow.
And all of his luts.
So well, since you guys can't see what, holy crap, why is it that bright? How? Okay. But anyway, does it still do that when it gets close? I'm afraid to like blind people. Oh my! Oh wait, there we go.
It got better. It got better. Okay.
Finally. Just like we need epic music playing. Oh, oh,
Man, you have to
oh,
play for sunglasses on
oh.
whenever you're like using your phone.
I mean these are like, you know, special lenses.
Transitions?
So
That moment
not
when he starts
transitions,
turning
but-
on night mode and it just gets even brighter.
But anyway, so yeah, pretty much what I was gonna ask. So I've been doing, so the dojo stuff is essentially them leveling up.
Yeah. There's expeditions and there's training that you unlock later. You might not have it yet. But
Okay.
romancing games don't use traditional levels. You
Yeah.
just kind of grind stats.
Your levels count towards your rates for gaining stats after fights,
Yeah, pretty much.
essentially.
Okay.
So it's your growth rates.
So
But just re-roll for like Zami and Albert and maybe even Cat. I don't know. Everybody says you don't need to re-roll. I actually didn't even bother.
I never do
but
because
Fun Little
I've
did.
literally seen streams of people re-rolling for like several hours, and I'm just like, bruh.
Yeah,
That
and,
sounds,
well,
like
depending on
unless
the
you're
game, I
really
felt
into
way.
that kind of meta, that sounds like the biggest waste of my life ever.
so wait, what do
Yeah.
you mean by like the reroll and stuff?
Literally,
you
your
uninstall the
first
app.
free reroll, like your first roll, you can re-roll and get different things out of that pool, depending on what
Yeah.
you want or what's the most meta to get for the free thing.
Pretty much. You're just fishing
And there are
for
people who will
starter
literally
suits.
sit there for like hours and like re-roll until you get the primo stuff.
So Cat's good.
Double S Cat's supposed to be pretty good. Azami is a good damage dealer. Albert is a double S rank unit with parry. So it makes him really good for just standing there. Parry deflects like everything, even AoE attacks. It's
which is
ridiculous.
nuts.
Wow.
Yeah. I have to use my A rank bear for it because I only have S rank Albert. But
Like seeing things in Saga Front 2 do windmill and just like, how did you windmill all of that? What do you mean you windmilled that?
and then your
Okay.
parry guy's just like, nope.
Nope.
It's like counter spell and magic. You just tell the bad guys no, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna use my one shot character murder attack, and your guy's just like,
Yeah, I ended up with
slap that out of the way.
Hector and somebody else.
Yeah, I think everybody gets Hector.
Yeah,
he's
Hector's super
he's a double
common.
S you get
Okay.
from the tutorial spawn or the tutorials like summon or whatever. But they give you some platinum tickets that you can use, and I think that's what people are mainly rerolling for or rerolling with, because they give you a bunch of starter gems. But I know I personally am saving up mine right now. I did a couple of 10 spins without knowing, but I looked up what banners are coming out, and I'm going to save up for the Valentine's Day banner. White Rose Queen is supposed to be one of the best units in the game for support. So I'm gonna try to save up to 45k so I can at least get the guarantee if things don't play out.
And then I see there's like a actual guild thing coming
It's
soon
not in the game yet. Yeah,
trademark.
So is that just not in across the board, or just not for us yet?
it's probably just not for us yet. Is what I'm understanding.
Okay, that'll
I'm
be
sure they'll put
interesting
it in
though,
eventually.
But
because
yeah,
I don't think they
That's what
have
I
any
wanted to
like
do.
friend codes or anything else for that either.
Yeah,
Like you have an ID, but that's about it.
but yeah, it seemed kind of fun.
yeah. It's grindy. Like ultimately though, like outside of meta chasing, you don't really even have to do that. Like you can make teams work with what you have. Like if you can optimize based on what you're fighting, the more to like even better.
Yeah.
But there's no real need to worry about it too much. There are a bunch of free characters that you can get that'll help you out. Like the the healer that you get from the event where they give you her for free to double S unit. I want to say Rosamia, but I think that's her A form or something. But she's really good. You can farm some people in the Hydra Den that like, give you extra gold. The lizard guy has a passive ability that just gives you more cash at the end of fights. Just run him in the Money Forest event.
Uh-huh.
Once you get strong enough to unlock Subier, he's the tentacle raid boss that you fight. He
Okay.
has an ability that increases your experience by 7% at the end of fights. You can just slap him up. You just make an EXP farming team and just slap him in a party and just grind XP for your styles and stuff like that.
I do feel like this game in particular emphasizes you going out with different teams for different things too. Like I literally have a tank with a bunch of healers because I just want all the healers to like stand up together.
Right.
So it's all that other lizard dude, and then just a bunch of chicks following him. So he's got like his own harem going into dungeons.
That's
Nice.
But yeah, like I tried so pretty much I've only went through 3 or 4 different of the main missions, I guess. I don't know.
Mhm.
Then I found this other thing and I was like, "Oh, there's a thing to do. Let's go." And then I walked in and a snake was just like, "Get clapped." And I was like, "Okay, well,
Yeah, that happens in Saga games.
oops."
Once in a while, you'll run into that new enemy that's like, "Hey, these guys aren't expecting it." Just
Yeah,
beat
Yep,
the
pretty
like
much.
it was just
team.
like
You aren't
280
supposed to
damage.
be here.
I was just like, "Oh, well, my bad.
What
Okay."
was the thing that Bethesda enemies say? Came to the. It was like you're at the wrong place or something like that. Came at the wrong time. It's like, oh shit, I guess
You're
so.
in the wrong neighborhood, son.
Yeah, pretty
The
much.
cool thing about the game though is if you retreat from a fight, they refund some of your stamina.
Oh,
So like if it
really?
costs
Okay.
12 to go in and like if you die, they're gonna take it. But
Yep.
if you
We
retreat,
tried to fight.
it costs you like 2 or something like that. So
Okay.
it's pretty nice in that regard.
That's actually really good because I was like, "Wait, I can actually go do something else." So, yeah, that was this morning after my doctor called. I was like, "Well,
Mhm.
time to get back into the AC because it was pretty warm out even early this morning."
Right.
And I was trying to work in the garden there, and
Yeah,
it
we're
was
gonna
just
be
like,
getting a heat wave. I think if not this week, then pretty soon we're gonna be in the 90s for like
yeah,
a historical level of days.
yeah. And then I'm south of you, so it's just even hotter down here.
Mhm.
Also, the
Did
humidity though is gonna be
that's the
insane.
Heron Ducks already reached like Florida and the Gulf already? There's that whole thing going on too. People are calling it like the new Dust Bowl. It's like I don't think it's that bad yet, but it's gonna be making things hazy for people in the south.
But yeah, what's the humidity where you're at, Gustav?
It's actually kind of dry. It hasn't rained in a little while. It hasn't been that bad, which is crazy because of the lakes, but it's just clear and bright as a motherfucker right now.
Yeah, like Kentucky humidity is just like I don't know. I'd have to look up actually what the humidity is right now, but it's always like
I mean,
80,
like,
90% or
actually, you
something
know
dumb.
what? It's 45 right now. 45%. Chance of rain's like 10. If anything, once that happens, oh my god. If that actually comes through, because we had a storm come through, I think last week or the week
Oh,
before.
we're
It
at
was
55.
super heavy. Like, no, yeah, it was last week because I was looking outside, like, what's that noise? Oh shit, that's really coming down. And I was like, for a good hour, I was like, guys, if I go out, you know why. There it is, Fury God. Never should have come here. That's what
Never
it
should
is
have
for
come
the
here. That's what it is.
never
No.
should have come here.
Oh, from like Oblivion or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, just in general.
But yeah, for real though, the humidity around here gets pretty bad. It's like my joke is sweat and then your sweat sweats. So yeah, pretty much. But
That was my week. How have you been doing,
okay, I was
Magnum?
gonna say anything else,
This isn't
but
regular sweat. This is
so
advanced sweat.
other than having the sun, on my phone, um, so that I tried that this morning, but we'll see how long that holds my attention. But the Fantasy Star Online 2, of course, we already talked about that, so I've been doing that. We had the tabletop yesterday, so that video will be going up uh, either sometime during this or just after this, and if YouTube does YouTube things correctly. Um, and then
Tabletop, Magnum.
wait, what?
What's the tabletop, Magnum?
Oh, we're doing a Gundam themed tabletop with the Robotech SMG rule set. So not the old rule set. There's a new one. There's a new rule set in town, pretty much.
Nice.
For anybody,
That sounds very
who
interesting.
is a fan of Palladium, I am not really. But the thing is, I'm more of the second edition, not a fan. So I guess there's, when people point that out, they're like, they'll talk riffs or like the old system, and it's like, well, those may be okay, but when they just cash in on a franchise and they literally copy and paste their riff spell list into a Robotech book, word for word, like, you
Don't
create a
rename or
ball of light,
retheme anything.
that spins off zombies, werewolves, and vampires. So they literally word for word copy it and put it into
Did they just expect everyone else to just do the rest of the work for them? Like, is that essentially what
pretty
this is?
much. And then they were like, and then before that they were like, so this character, they're space wizards, and whether or not they actually are in canon, because there's essentially kind of like two different canons, so whatever. But anyway, whether or not they are, um, they pretty much were like, so they have mana, and here's how it will work in the next section. You turn the page. So how does mana work? You don't necessarily say how to get mana, how mana improves. You just say they have mana, and there is a number at least, and then there is a cost to the spells. And then also they get better benefits with mana in their spells if they're on a ley line. And it's like, so what does that mean? Well, it'll be explained on the next page. You turn the page, they don't actually explain it.
Do
I
tell,
read one
game.
of the Dungeons and Dragons books that kind of did that.
But
I
with a
think it
lot of
was
the D&D
one of-
books, for the most part,
Like,
they're just badly worded and like
I mean, you're
or
not
overly
wrong.
worded. Like they're badly like organized and just badly worded. So yeah.
D&D authors are over here like my vocabulary.
But it's just like, what was it, the mage armor thing in D&D? Like it also counted toward the something. I forget exactly what it was, but you had to actually go to like the armor section where it commented on mage armor
Mhm.
to actually get the ruling about this very specific thing. I can't even remember what it is now. But you had to actually
They have
go,
some.
yeah. Like it was
But
it was in like the armor section where you would think it would be on the spell itself that they would describe this issue that would
Right.
come up.
That would be the intuitive thing to do.
So if you're like reading all the armor stuff and you're like, oh well, that makes sense, and then you decide to skip the last sentence that or the last there's like a little bit of text, and then the very specific mage armor thing, you decide to skip that, then you're like, well, I understand how armor works and stuff. Let's move on, and it's just like, oops. So
yeah, a lot of text and places that are on the page that the particular thing in question is, or just vague like rulings. It's one of those situations where like the person writing the rules knows what they mean, but everybody else is just kind of like, huh?
yeah, that is I mean, that's just a
Yeah.
problem with text messaging in general. Just
I mean, that's just also a thing with like
Right.
people who know things aren't necessarily good at teaching them. Like, there's a different set of skills and like language and vocabulary that you need to actually be able to convey things to people so they can actually learn what the fuck you're talking about.
I mean, that's kind of the hard part, really, about GMing too, and like actually doing this and keeping up with everything
Especially if you have people
is
who are like kind of new to like tabletop too, right? Because you got to be both a teacher and like a GM. You can't assume everyone knows what's going on all the time.
yeah. So it's I found yesterday too with the extra 2 players, I was definitely a bit more all over the place and scatterbrained by the end of it. So it might have been a shorter session, but it was definitely a bit more taxing. So
Yeah, we
it's
definitely need to keep a leash on those, so at least in regards to the time.
yeah,
So it's not
that was
bad at
another
all.
thing. The tangenting and stuff is yeah.
I mean, we're doing it right now, so
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
perfect.
I'm bad about that. So, oops. Like I said, what could go wrong? But anyway, you were asking something about the tabletop specifically.
Oh, I was more of just, you know,
Yeah, yeah, okay.
being like the guy that makes the flow of the, you know, pitch for the other YouTube content come out a little bit more smoothly. Like my next thing is to be like, wow, I really like that IP, and I personally really enjoy playing tabletop games like Dungeons and Dragons. But who are some of the people playing in the sessions that you know maybe I know or see on Twitch that I could you know possibly
so what
relate
happened to
to?
be affiliated to?
Which is a weird question that you're asking this because you happen to be one of those players, Emblem. But
I'm in the
also,
session.
also that's I'm sorry, Courtney's in the session.
Who's that? It sounds like a girl's name.
Oof.
Somebody said Courtney, but he looks like a guy.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
Courtney's a man's name, and I'm a man.
I can't wait till that moment.
Oh god,
You guys will be
who's gonna be
disappointed.
our Jared?
Um,
I think we've already
spoiler,
met Jared.
spoilers. There is a character I've already made.
It's troublesome.
The name's Jerry. I've already just said that to everyone because we
Jerry.
started
Oh,
memeing.
of course
I
it's
remember you saying
Jerry.
that too.
Oh no, I
So instead of Jared, the
just
character's name's Jerry.
are you gonna double down on that then? Like he's the Jared, but also the Jerry.
Well,
Oh,
maybe,
what's a Jerry? What's that
maybe,
mean?
maybe. Actually, that's been kind of the joke after I said Jerry. Everybody's been saying the
Jerry is
same thing.
yeah, it's a
So
Rick and Morty thing. So
Oh, no wonder I don't get it. Okay.
yeah, exactly. So like I know because I've seen some of the clips,
honestly,
and I know that Jerry's just like a piece of shit
it
and
was
has really
not
bad luck. But
the
like
Oh,
reference.
I thought
that's the
that's
dad,
literally just
right?
instinctual.
But now that everybody's just like going
Because
with
we
it,
assume
I'm
because
like,
you're the Rick and Morty dude, so I just assumed that's why it was.
Oh, the
maybe
captain's
that's why I
pretty
picked the
much
name.
Rick.
Yeah, I was gonna say the captain's voice turned into Rick after a little bit.
Yeah,
And then we
that
definitely
too.
had a Rick and Morty moment in the first episode toward the end, like the big Zam. I think I already talked about that a little bit, but like there's a big Zam is like fire. Damn it, why is it? Ah, you know. And it was really because I was messing up on the sound effects. So we just kind of made my frustrations into what the character was saying, so it's canon.
Don't worry, like a good anime character, we were frozen in place the whole time.
Yeah. You know what it is? They just had sweat drops as he's struggling with the button. Like, what's he doing?
but yeah, so yeah, we also got Hikaru in it. Ace is playing. Then we got Storm and Junko, Haruka Junko and Storm Shield. They're joining in now. So now we got a full group of 5. So the second episode just happened yesterday. It's 6 p.m. Eastern every Wednesday. If there is any changes or somebody can't make it and we decide to move it, I'll be posting it in Discord and places. But yeah, there was that, and then Path of Exile. I got done with the thing, and I did not win the laptop. So,
Feels bad, man.
Oof.
out of 3,000, like 200 and something people, I was surprised the number was that low, actually, because the boss fight was really easy. But then talking to a
Mhm.
friend of mine, we didn't really have all the info till later, and now I know you could have done it in like 2 days.
Damn.
So, like, if I would have looked up a video by like day 3 or something, then I would have had it done
Just like optimize
like
it or whatever.
before the last podcast we had. Yeah. Well, I mean, since I'm in a trade league, all you'd have to do is buy the final seed and then just run 100 maps. That's literally all you have to do.
Mhm.
Buy one seed, put the resources you need for like that one to grow essentially, and then you could do.
Yep. Evelyn disappeared.
Yeah, I guess he's going to. He still has his headphones on, so I'm assuming he can hear.
That.
But then you get all the resources you need for that one, and when it's ready to grow, have a bunch of tier 1s ready, and then you can harvest it, which spawns the tree, and then you do the tree and fight the boss.
Actually, I'm
That's it.
curious. You're saying that you're surprised that that number was so little. What's the average player base for that game still? Like, if you ever looked at the statistics on like
I mean,
team numbers and stuff, like
I
what's the player base looking like these days?
what's the Steam website for Steam numbers?
I forget. Because I know
Yeah,
people
good question.
reference it all the time.
Well, I will be bringing that up. But other than that, Gundam as usual. Max Boost almost on the weekend. Played that a little bit. Steam charts. Here we go.
Area.
It'll be open today, I think, if you pre-ordered.
Yep.
Yeah,
By 11 at night.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and pre-order it. I mean, I'm gonna get it anyway, but since
I know
I've
I
gotten
did.
to
On an
the
app.
I gotten to the point where I'm like, I kind of want to do it, but I also, since pre-orders had the extended weekend, I think I'm gonna like chill on doing it every day. Because like I already burn myself out on this game every day. I don't need to do that with Maxi Boost too.
actually, yeah, I probably won't be playing
Fine.
it tonight anyway. So unless I decide to get on tomorrow, then I'll
Wait.
probably wait. Yeah.
Yeah. I know I'll be farming PSO2 day.
Yeah, that was.
That's
I
for
mean,
sure.
like, I'm gonna be doing Path of Exile for
Yeah.
sure, but until
If anything, I should probably be grinding my characters in Disgaea because we hit a bit of a wall the other day. So I just need to be able to do that scenario easier so we can keep going.
so every 3 months they have a uptick in players, pretty much. So
Is that like related to like an event or like just a
when
new
a
month,
league,
things going on?
so on the low period they have. Yeah, they literally have a dip. They have like an increase of 20,000 players every league. And average players looks like is around 30,000 in the last 30 days. At peak, it was 125,000 players. So pretty much every 3 months, they have 100 to 130,000 players at peak. So I'd say they probably have, and that's concurrent just on the Steam client. And there's a lot of people that swap from the Steam client to their client. So that's not even counting their client,
Right.
which apparently is also a really large number. So if I had to guess, they're anywhere from 200 to 400,000 players, probably per day. So yeah, so I that's why I'm surprised, because most of those players are also softcore, which is easier to trade and easier to play. And I actually ended up dying on the fight once, which is kind of disappointing because um, I think the fight's really easy. So it's kind of like, oh man, I was learning the fight, yeah, sure, but also I think I died to I didn't look at the replay yet, but I think what happened is I got slapped by like her. Oops, spoilers. The bosses, the like vine tentacle things that smack for a lot of damage, and then the fireball thing that it shoots like 8 times. And then pretty much you just wait for the 8 shots, and then you got a free period to DPS for like 3 seconds. So anything that's ranged can easily fight this because you can just shoot it from ranged and then like dodge between the fireballs and shoot. So it's just like walk, shoot, walk, shoot, walk, shoot while it is firing. Oh well, too late.
It's
Um,
too late.
is firing off the stuff. But well, since I've already just said it, I'm just gonna go with it now. So pretty much the character is like, we can grow this tree and it'll be cool. So I'm gonna grow it with myself. Nothing can go wrong here.
Merges with the tree.
Yeah, pretty much. It's raid class, like,
Oof.
and nothing ever goes well when you try to pair yourself with a thing in raid class.
Don't do a science and a fantasy game.
Yeah, for real. Just
Don't
end up being
do
a
it.
boss.
But
You
anyway,
just turn
so
into a boat.
the thing is, I didn't have mods on the map, and I was trying to, just get it done. So
Mhm.
fair enough, there's that. But I don't know if the mods carry over to the area, kind of thing, like they do normally.
Well, it's
I'm
time to
assuming they
find out.
do. So the next time, but like that was the biggest thing, is it was kind of a disappointing fight with how easy it actually was, base level. Whereas in previous leagues, they've had a end fight and it just kick you in the teeth outright. And they're like, oh, by the way, we're gonna add mods to it, and you're just like,
Oop.
please no, but yes, right?
It's got
And
like a fear boner going on.
but yeah, like so I can't wait till they buff it, and I hope they buff it. But that's pretty much the only thing with that one. But yeah, that was pretty much everything I've done. But
This
now,
is a GBO2 podcast.
yeah, now
Yeah.
on to the ham rabbi.
Gonna have
Let's
to
go.
put a time stamp on this. So this is when we actually talk about the game.
Yeah, well, I mean, this one wasn't too bad. We're 30 minutes. This is about our.
That's
This is
pretty
about
bad.
This is about par for the course at this point. So let's change this to the ham rabbi. Let's go. So what do you guys think about the Hammurabi so far? I've got to play against two of them in one game.
Mhm. Still
Nice.
raid.
Our first match, we had two of them on our team.
Yeah, they haven't faded since yesterday. I had a couple in my last 600 match. Also, just the bigger thing about it being a 600 raid outright. It's the first one we've gotten.
Yep. So now,
Yeah, it's
we need
nice having a smaller hitbox on our raids.
Yeah,
it's a
that's
bit
one
Also
thing
support low.
with the Gaplan.
Also, I'm glad that its wings aren't like super like DJ-ish.
Yeah, they're kind of like more behind his body, which
Mhm.
is kind of nice.
So, well, first, what are your base thoughts on it, Emblem, since you've actually got it? And if you've got it up in game right now, I'll go ahead and pull your.
I do, yeah. Just let me know whenever you have it up. But the suit itself is pretty interesting. Just when I've played with it, it seems like it'll be pretty nice. I can say I like having the Sea Serpent as a good answer to the MLRS. Because even if you hit the shield, they're going to be tasting pain.
I mean, that's
the nice.
big deal with it. Like the reason why Chad actually loves fighting me in the goof when it comes to the MLRS is it's a battle between can he hit the Sea Serpent or sorry, the Heat Rod or not.
Heat Rod or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that definitely helps.
Oops.
But like I have one melee part on my ham of rabbi, and like I'm at 99 thrust with levels 4, 3, and 2. So that's pretty cool in that regard. And then you have the I think they're calling it the long sniper rifle or whatever, long beam sniper or whatever it's called, instead of the fading rifle. But you've got this. Unfortunately, you can't stagger with 2 shots. You have to do a charge shot if you want to get a stagger up.
Mhm.
But you can move while doing it, which is pretty cool. You also have the beam spear, which only has 1 attack, which I honestly think is kind of strange that it has only 1 attack at with the suit that's at base 600. Like the Zeta Gundam
Does the
can
Marasai
do
have
multiple
2?
swings. Marasai has 1 also, I'm pretty sure.
Does. Okay.
But I don't own it, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Especially if it being a raid. Like I get that you have the beams. Like on top of that, you have technically like 3 melee options with the saber, which you do have 3 swings for. Sea Serpent. But like the big thing is all the attacks hit pretty hard. Also, one kind of thing I thought was interesting, like the Sea Serpent favors the left a little bit. So like even though I've got the reticule on him, it'll still miss. So you got to be careful with that. Like you gotta favor the side
Oh,
a little
wow,
bit.
yeah.
Otherwise you're gonna miss your target. So watch out for that. Yeah,
Interesting.
but besides that, you can get a lot of damage in. It feels like the Bull and Oak a little bit with the damage output. And again, I only have level 2 melee, so that's a 5% damage increase. But when I played last night, I went up against a MLRS, and like just from a neutral swing into the heat rod or the sea serpent, I did over half his life in damage.
Ooh.
So you're
Well,
definitely going to be able to clap pretty hard.
with your shooting beam that you have there, I died with the MLRS from the back. Somebody just shot me to death. I was like
Interesting.
about 70% health ish to 0 from just firing in flight mode at me, and I was like, "What? That
I feel that. I mean, these
that
guys are kind of
claps."
low. Let me change the cost of the bots real quick to get a better idea. Because I mean, that thing did 3K to that Zaku commander, but he's like no rating. And I'll switch it up and see how it looks. But I think the big thing with this suit is that you're gonna have to really kind of play it more like the Gabthly a little bit, where you essentially get in there. Um, so I think it's gonna have a bit of a learning curve in that regard. But it'd be really interesting to see. Like, I think you want to kind of, if like you've seen like high level gameplay with the donut
Yeah.
and the Gapfully and stuff. And I'm talking about the Ashamar for those of you at home. Um, I think it'd be pretty interesting.
I mean, I honestly, I pretty much described it as like the Marisai mixed with the Ashimar mixed with the Gapsley.
Yeah,
Like that was
and I
pretty
mean,
much my description.
Mecca's bringing up some stuff too. And one of the things that I was going to bring up, which he said, was that the thrust consumption in transformable mode is really nice. Like when you're boosting, you get the initial like burst
Oh wow, that's so
consumption,
low.
but after you start going, it like the rate of increase is the same as when you're not boosting.
Yeah, what in
It's
the
really
world?
cool in that regard.
So they want you to like live in that mode for certain
Yeah.
situations. So,
So you can definitely engage. Um, and I mean the beam gun and in the mobile armor mode also kind of feels like the DJ a little bit. I mean that's double shots. That's 2 shots and I hit for like 1,000 each shot, and I stagger pretty quickly. Um,
I
let's
mean, with how much
see.
it shoots, I've been tempted to roll on it.
It's pretty cool. I'm glad I got one of these suits. Like I definitely want to practice with it. Wave Rider ramming attack does 2,200.
Damn.
22, goddamn. So
Yeah,
Yeah, and that guy did
depending on if you
6K
hit a
or
support, you can pretty
2.6K.
much assassinate it by just clotheslining it.
well, yeah, that's
Oh
that's
yeah.
pretty much what happened. I was like 70 to 0 getting shot from the back. I had no time to turn around and react, and the Amrabi just completely decimated me.
Oh man.
So, like, I think I took the beam while it was flying, and then that just the machine gun beam there probably rammed me actually to probably finish me off. But yeah, it
Like
was
that had a cone
gross.
head Gundam.
The other thing though too, which kind of to say something about its damage and why the extra thing, why I wanted to kind of wait till we got here to talk about it, is the
Hmm.
like on the Psycho Gundam. There we go. I about said something else, but the Psycho Gundam. Guess what? The top team so far, or one of the top teams, are for the kills, and the cost is 600 this week.
Hmm.
We do have a
Forster.
Hammurabi.
Interesting. Is it a
Oh,
team
okay.
Hammurabi or just one that's in there?
So it is just one that's in there. So the funny thing is the team that has the highest so far is a team of 3 Gans at 500 cost rather than 600. But
Nice.
I think that's hilarious. Um, and then but there is a Hammurabi though on one of them. So if you got a team of 3 and the time isn't that much different. So if the Gan has like top tier DPS output, this thing definitely shows that it can beat. So I
Yeah,
think
I
they're
think it's
like
gonna
10
be
seconds
nice.
apart.
That's what's up.
Like, unlike maybe I know a lot of people don't like the not the Hammurabi, but the Gabfili. Even though I think it's a good suit, it just has a high learning curve. I think this will kind of be in the same regard, but maybe it won't get as much slack since it's a raid. But maybe it'll make it worse. I don't know. I
I
feel like
think
raids in some cases tend to be harder to play.
I think this
Yeah,
one though
especially
has a good
600.
balance of shooting and melee though. I think that's one
I
of
feel you
its
there.
benefits.
I
Not an
guess
improving
the
stat, definitely
question
tough to
then
be honest.
becomes like, how badly punished does it get for actually going in?
Yeah,
Like,
we
is it
were
at least able to get its target, or is it just being like slapped out before it can even get there? Once people get used to it.
Yeah, that's gonna be the big question. Like that's a really good point. Like we had 2 that we were going against,
Hmm.
and being a GPO2, I can knock it out of the sky pretty quick because
Yeah,
Vulcans. But um
you gotta actually see it first.
yeah, so if they get to me, they're gonna do the damage and it claps pretty well. But if they don't and I'm shooting it, I pretty much set up our ace like perfect for a kill. And sadly our Mark III, instead of shooting it, decided to go try to melee it even though
Oh
it
my god,
fell on a rock.
I
And
hate that
then
impulse that people have. It's like, bro, you have like 3 different things that damage a lot. Just get in there and shoot it. You
just
don't even have
you're
to move. Just
we were
shoot the
on the
thing.
hill safe and he could have shot the Hammurabi there that I put to like half health just by myself. And I'm like, and then he just like yeet and gets countered because whatever the Gapsley on the enemy team just straight up um straight up melee the dude or sorry countered the dude, and I was just like, man, you just got countered, rip. um but yeah, if he would have just shot, he probably would have actually killed the Hammurabi. They wouldn't have had an ace who got like 3 kills after that, and we would have won. And it's just like, oof.
That accurate moment when your team doesn't catch your A. Fuck.
Oh no. But yeah, I think overall we were winning. They had 2 raids though. Again, I think could make 2 supports work, but 2 raids is kind of like team comp suicide.
Oof.
So
I mean, yeah, there's some people who would argue that shouldn't even have one at certain costs.
yeah, which I think this thing has the damage to kind of compete though, and
Mhm.
I think by looking at, for instance, the Psycho Gundam thing, it definitely shows it has the DPS output. The question is can you use that well in a actual fighting setting?
Yeah,
So
against something that's not a giant circuit.
yeah.
I got all the stats and stuff pulled up now,
Cool, cool. What do we got?
but it's pretty nice. I can read it off as well if you want. As soon
I was
as I
gonna
like
say, I was gonna say,
compare it too hard.
I'm trying to read it from here, but what 2,000 damage on the rifle with 50% heat rate?
Yeah, 2000, 60% heat rate. Range is
Okay, 60.
450.
What
It's
is
pretty
the
respectable.
how much is the charge heat rate? Is that about like 90%?
Probably. I'd have to look at
Yeah,
the JP wiki
I'm
for
guessing
that
it'd be close to
information.
90. That's normally what they are around that.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Just from what I've seen playing the suit. Well, I'll pull up the stats, or I'll pull up the finer details on the JP wiki.
But focus 3.5, that's pretty good. I mean at that point though it's a Goog rifle, right? Goog rifle 3.5.
Yeah, I think Gogug is like literally 3, which might make it a little bit longer. Let me pull it up. It's somewhere. It's along the same lines
Close
though.
enough. Yeah.
I just thought it felt shorter than that. Maybe I'm just used to that stuff.
I got my game up. I can go ahead and tab over real quick.
There it is. Just talking about this yesterday.
4.5. Okay, never mind. That's right. 3.5
Hmm,
is a whole lot better than a Google rifle. Why aren't they buffing
okay.
these? Holy crap. Literally the same stats as that. Only 4.5 seconds for charge time on a Google
Well,
rifle.
but it's a lower cost suit, right? I mean, I get it. The
Yeah,
Gogu
but
rifle claps on normal heads.
well, here's my thing. What's the lowest cost? Okay, so if they did the Gogu level 3 or level 4 rifle, then you're talking 450 for the normal Gogu,
Hmm.
right? So you'd have to be
Uh,
450 before you could even use. So like at level 3, they could up the or they could lower it at level 3 and 4 of the Gogu beam rifle.
yeah, I feel you there. They should probably lower the charge rate at higher levels
Yeah,
to make them more viable. But that would require them to balance things properly.
That'd require them to try.
that
Instead of
is that
wanting
is
to put new
true.
features in. Watch we'll get like a new mode while everyone's waiting for shit like this.
I mean, well, the thing is, they have balanced things correctly before to have that stuff. So we can hope. I'll cross my fingers. Let's see what happens. But I like the amount of thrust you have on that. Holy crap!
Yeah, I put all my thruster parts on it last night. And I looked at it, I was like, "Oh, I'm at 100." So I took off to level 1, I was like, "Oh, I'm at 99." I was like, "Oh, we'll be okay at 99. Let me put on a melee part instead." So I just did that. But, the, beam saber is 2400 power, and you have a 3 hit melee combo. Um, let's see. The mod on swings, where are you? Here we go. Um,
Wow,
you
Jesus, I just
have
saw Hammurabi melt that Nemo 3. Holy shit.
nice.
Yeah, that base damage
You
on
have
that beam saber, 2400, dude.
you
What?
you hit hard. It's nice.
Like
The
he
neutral is
pulled like
100%.
a strafe combo on that dude. Like I'm excited to see more stuff like that.
Yeah, I want to be a new type when I grow up too. Um, the neutral is 100% melee damage for both. The beam saber is 75% damage mod on side swings, 90% on the spear, which is really cool.
Ooh,
Um, The downswing modifier for the beam saber is 130, and the rifle and the spear is 160.
damn, that is gross.
Also, the big thing though is that you have 100 less damage on the beam spear. Also, the modifier definitely would make up for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it seems good. I mean, the bigger thing for me, and I guess you played it a little bit, how does the transition between the two weapons feel? Is it like striker speed or is it a little bit slower?
It feels a bit more like what you call it, the Bull and Oak with its swaps.
That's pretty quick then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see.
So far though, I didn't see really the two other players use the Sea Serpent in their combo, but I feel like the Sea Serpent is going to be like the big,
That thing hits hard. It's
yeah,
really mean.
like
Um,
that is
Base
the
damage on
grossest.
it is 2500. But I would definitely mix it in. I was doing neutral like melee confirms into Sea Serpent follow ups and just like murdering supports or I murdered a support last night. But you can definitely get in there with it. But
After
yeah, the
going,
switch time is half a second
oh
to the
really?
sea snake, um, half a second to the beam saber, and 0.77 seconds to the beam spear. So I mean, you're talking like quick switches.
Yeah, that's
You could
crazy.
probably hit somebody 3 times water on the ground with this thing.
So I have a question about your parts.
Hmm.
Um, like, I mean, I guess you don't have anything else you could put on for that shield, but
Oh yeah,
what is the turn speed part take again? Is that long?
4 long, 1 medium.
Do you think it needs the turn speed, or would you go for more health?
Honestly, like I always feel that being able to keep track of targets and stuff like that on a raid is imperative, and I definitely value the turn speed. Although I haven't played it enough, but like just as an example, let's see how much health will we get. 700
What does
extra
that leave
health.
you open with when you have those off?
Um,
12 and
gives me 5 medium and
oh, and then
5 long range. So I mean, you could do like
do the normal frame
that
then.
and new model frame and get an extra 1k or 1300 HP. Although I don't know, I personally
Oh,
don't
okay,
want
I
to do that.
guess.
I'd like the turn
Oh yeah, never
myself.
mind. I'm dumb. I was like, wait, you can get, but yeah, I forgot the turn takes 1 medium. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Honestly, like once I get the expansion slot, I would put the new model frame on. I just have to get it first.
Oh yeah, that's right. That is Pog actually.
Yeah, everything else is kind of just place filler.
And then what
Uh,
would you do?
I forgot about the precision focusing ring. I'll put that on, I guess.
Oh well, there you go, Pog. How much time does that save you? 0.2 seconds. 0.1.
Aha, let's find out. 0.1 second on the rifle charge. Yep,
Woo!
that's it. Yep, 3.4. Woo!
Yeah, man.
Don't worry,
Skills.
I can like interpret things above 60 frames per second with my eyes, and I definitely noticed a difference.
Yeah, I have
Oh
to
my
keep that.
gosh.
See the frames.
By the way, though,
But
the
yeah.
funny thing is I'm just saying,
Sharingan going on.
before they had the actual stats in the game, I remember comments
Mhm.
being like, "Well, I notice a difference." I'm like, "Do you though?" And
I
then
don't know. I've
and
had
then
people say like I play a lot of fighting game. Like I had one guy tell me he plays fighting games and like he's used to seeing frame data. So I mean, there could be people who notice. I don't know. I'm in the same camp with you though. I just can't see it being possible to notice the difference between half a second or something.
Is the difference between us and the sweat lords that melt us, essentially.
Yep.
I mean, but here's the question: is that random dude on Reddit a sweat lord, or just
You'll
trying to
never know
justify,
until he claps your cheeks.
or
Or he might just
justifying?
be an aspiring sweat
Right.
lord, and eventually he'll get there.
I'm just like I feel like you're trying to justify your part choice when somebody said this part's garbage. Just saying.
I mean, sometimes you're doing something and you get called out, and instead of just being like, "Oh shit," you gotta like, "Well, I'm not wrong. My part is great." you
Like I
you're
always
just a
say,
scrub and don't see it properly.
don't fall for the quadruple down. Never quadruple down.
Got a quintuple down instead.
Heck
Yes.
yeah, goose.
One day you're gonna run into the guy who actually is that good and tells you the same thing, and that's gonna be fucked up.
That's funny.
Never assume.
I don't know. I'm big on numbers.
And you're gonna
So
find out that you're like from the outside looking in terms of the community. Like, oof. I
I
kind of wonder if we're actually there with our podcast sometimes because we're not the only ones that do this, and there's a whole different set on YouTube on top of that.
yeah, I know like the I don't know. Like for this though, specifically I look at numbers, but at the same
Let's talk
time,
about the GBO2 community. First topic of the night. Holy shit, we exist.
oof.
Yes, that is a very good topic to discuss. I think we are real.
We play, therefore we are.
We are here and we're enough people strong to actually have inner community like discussions and drama. Holy shit, can't believe.
That
I'm pretty sure you can get there 3 people though. I mean, people love to be
People on
be
like an
drama.
old Neopets forum or something. There's like
Yeah.
literally just 3 dudes left. Like, fuck.
but I will say
Cue
though,
the Neopets people in chat being like, well, actually,
Yeah. Just a reminder, everybody, like don't try not to take these too seriously. It's just a video game on the internet. You know, like I hope there aren't people who hate me because I played a video game on the internet, but I know I personally have no bad blood towards anybody in the battle op community. So hopefully it's the same page. But who knows? Maybe I said a mobile suit was bad and someone hates my guts or something. Like
Oof.
you never know.
I mean, there was that one guy that one time that that commented
Did the one thing.
after I made the Zamo comment, and we had a comment there, man. I don't know. I'd have to go back. I think he had gaming in his name, but I can't remember. But
Oh,
yeah.
I think I saw that one.
But yeah, my point though, as far as just to kind of tangent a little bit more on what you said though, Gustav. Like, I think between the three of us, we have kind of more of diverse enough opinions that we do hit actually quite a wide range of ideas when it comes to a lot of different things.
My thing, and I guess this is just what I kind of wonder, and there's always the idea of like being a big fish in a small pond, but like how big is our pond, right? Compared to like other podcasts, compared to people of other like skill levels.
Oh yeah.
Would they actually consider our opinions and stuff to be like the true sweat meta? Like, or are we just also scrubby and just like three dudes in a quarter just doing this podcast together?
That's actually an interesting
Like,
point.
what's the benchmark, right? On a community that's this small, what's the standard?
That's pretty interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
I can give you my thoughts on like kind of what I think about it. Like I think there's probably like three levels of play. There's casual players, and then there's people who are still casual, but I think are a bit more serious, but aren't like meta lords. And then you have like I guess high tier play, meta like new type gods or whatever. I feel like to the very casual player base, like they would see our thing and maybe hear some of the discussions and see it as a kind of like sweaty, like meta pushing top tier podcast. But like I feel like we're in that like somewhere in that casual middle ground a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you have the other groups that like for instance, I don't say this to like hopefully it doesn't come off the wrong way. I don't say it to like be demeaning or anything to the other podcast, but I think I know what the other podcast is, and I'm pretty sure the like that's run up by Troa, who is unless it's changed. I mean, I don't
Oh,
think
was
I've
it?
ever actually seen it.
I think there's like two other ones other than that one. I didn't know if
Well,
that's
yeah,
the one
but
you were
like
talking about.
Troa's the leader of the former Claw gang, and I'm pretty sure because you said it was I think it's top tier GBO2, right?
Yeah, it's top tier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's
like
the
I'm pretty sure Troy was in it unless something happened. And like I'm pretty sure he plays like higher level battle op, and I feel like them in that case is that third tier that I'm talking about.
yeah.
So like casual players on that first tier probably see that and be like, oh well, fuck these guys. They're super sweaty tryhards. I hate that. Well, like when you hit those games and like just there's a discrepancy in the skill level. So like the bad players to make themselves feel better, just like shit on them for being good. It'd be one of those situations, right? And like I
Yeah.
could kind of see it being, and like shoot, I've done it. I'm not like exempt from that statement I just said. Like I feel like it kind of factors into those positions where casual players will see us like, oh, these guys are kind of sweaty, and they'll be like, oh, well, those guys like those tryhards that are in those custom lobbies that I shouldn't have gone into, or something like that. But yeah, the short answer is I think we're kind of in the middle, personally.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's one of those things where I think like in terms of like the whole sweaty thing and kind of like loathing that, it's like you loathe it until you're in it, right? Once you start to like get acclimated to the sweat and you're actually doing some of that shit that you used to hate having happen to you, you're just kind of on the other side, whether you
For
realize it
real.
or not. And eventually you're just like, you know what, I'm fine with it because now I can do it.
well,
There's nothing wrong with becoming the problem.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a sign of growth.
There you go.
I mean, it kind of goes back to what I was talking
I
about.
think
with
I've
another
hit
one.
that point personally, Gustav. So I feel you.
Yeah, like it's like I've said before, though. It's like, what do you want out of the game, kind of thing, right? So, and there's if you're just wanting to casually play every now and then you're probably
I guess
not going to hit that
right,
level.
but I guess for me, like when you're casually playing it, like you're usually doing it to get some sort of enjoyment in that moment, right?
Yeah.
But if playing that way is denied so strongly by the remaining player base, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Then
yeah,
eventually
yeah.
you're gonna look at those moments and be like more hesitant to try to engage in the game.
Yeah, that's when I don't like it. It's
So
kinda
like
like
either you have to double down and like really just start pushing back against, that player base until you become one of them, or you just
Mhm.
give up the game entirely and
yeah,
just move on
exactly.
to something else.
Yeah.
Right.
That's kind of the
You play
unfortunate
long enough to
thing.
become,
The part of
what is that quote from
the
Batman?
yeah.
Play long enough to become the meta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The sweat lord.
I don't know though. Like, I don't know what I don't know what's up with players who view the meta as a bad thing though. Like, I get that it can cause like games to feel stagnant. I understand that, but at the same time,
Part of
like,
that's also the game's fault though, right? Like if your
yeah,
game is
I
like
agree.
not spicy enough to shift the meta around, and I know a lot of people who are very religious with the meta get pissed off when it changes, but
Mhm.
eventually those same guys will just find a new trough to get into for their meta and start feeding on that anyway. Like they'll
Right.
just shift it or adapt to it, and then they'll be part of that new problem
Well, I mean, that's
Oh, I
pretty
feel
much
you.
until they move on.
that's one reason why I like balancing and or okay, whenever it was actually sort of balanced. Okay, never. It was never balanced. But that's why I
Yeah.
kind of liked League of Legends
Mhm.
a little bit because what they would do though is they would shift the meta. So assassins would be OP, then tanks would be OP, then this would be OP. Right? So each time the meta would shift, there'd be something new to either play or just be like, well, I don't play that. I don't want to play that, so I'm gonna keep doing this. It can work, but it's definitely not the overpowered thing at this moment. That's not my play style. So luckily, they
Right.
still had strong champions normally in that, which again, that's a huge game to compare it to something else. But that's one thing I did like is they would shift the meta around to a different meta every few months or every season or whatever.
And I
So
think this game in particular, because it's a based game, like you get those composition meta is different than individual suit meta when you talk about like self-sufficiency of a suit, but you get every once in a while you'll get these funky compositions regardless of the team's skill where they just gel well for that match.
yeah,
And you
Mhm.
can still get that satisfaction from doing that.
but like kind of more back and to the point of like um where we
The
kind of
balancing thing?
where we
Mm.
kind of fit
Oh,
in
okay. I
in
gotcha.
the sweat, I guess. One thing I was gonna say too is it's kind of like talking about space, right? So I have my
Mhm.
Xeon cheese that you know someone's like, "You're not even fighting. Get back here." Like so I've had some rage. I've had some friendly mail, sent to me every now and then.
I wonder if you're to blame for that cheese. Like, were you just along the cutting edge of that shift too? Because I noticed other people started to do it
Yeah,
over
like
time.
I'm
But were the
I don't
wondering.
JP
know. I
players
feel like,
doing it first?
I feel like it
I'm
just
kind of curious
evolved.
about that. Yeah, like
Like, I
eventually
feel
it's like,
like
hey,
you've
these
always
suits
had
can
those
just do
people,
this.
Rush.
Yeah,
Like, it just evolved from, like, the beginning of the game, like, guy that plants the point
to
to,
just
"Oh,
blowing
now
up
my
the
mobile
base.
suit." Yeah, now my mobile suit can do it, and I might get it off, and I waste the same
Mm.
amount of time.
Yeah, I feel
So,
like Thunderbolt suits did it a little bit, and we saw some really
mhm,
Yeah.
amazing matches of that happening. But as they fell out of the meta, that quieted down, right? And then we got
right.
the buffs to them weren't really enough to make them do it again, but they have the Xeon now to back them up, and
Well, the
now
full
they can
armor
get in
can
there and
still.
like add to the crazy.
Honestly, that's where I got the
Full armor, I
idea.
feel like it gets melted a little too much, especially if it gets like pursued by stuff. It can't tank as well as the Xeon.
I mean, you honestly, if you're gonna do it, you have to have your shields destroyed. So I try to
Oh
stay
yeah,
under people so that they destroy my shields, and then once they destroy my shields, then I can
you
just
just zoom.
kite around it, not care about that general or whatever. And
The turning speed is just like keeps you over.
yeah, so I mean that's pretty much with the Xeon. I just can always rotate and target the actual base, and then just keep hiding around because it's so fast anyway. So
Man, at least I have things on my end. on your side?
Oh yeah, I do.
You don't have to switch over. I was just wondering because if you did, I was just gonna go back into a match with the Marabi.
Yeah, go ahead.
And Brandy.
Okay, you can keep going.
But yeah, as far as that goes, like just on that note, I saw it from the Full Armor Thunderbolt, and I was like, that guy almost destroyed a base. I've been wanting to try to destroy more bases with suits, and then like the Xeon comes out, and I'm like,
Oh, this is the one. This is the one.
yes.
Shit.
Was it that Vince McMahon meme rather, where
He's
you
in the
like
chair.
you see the base and it's kind of like, and then the Thunderbolt seats there. And it's like,
yeah,
and
pretty
your
much.
eyes are red once the Zeong pops up.
You just fell back in your seat.
Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly what happened. Like, so pretty much, with the Xeon though, it's just like I can now do this, and then I'm like, okay, so let's figure out what kills bases, because I started doing like damage tests on bases, and I was just like, so missiles and explosions, and then for some reason, certain penetrating beams do crazy damage while other ones don't, which is another weird thing that I don't understand. But yeah, so literally before that, the first time I ever had like bases destroyed, which were pretty much only in space, was when the Unit 4 came out, and I
Mm,
just had a bunch of, and this was when we could actually type in the chat before the beginning of the
right.
game, and
Launchers up, bitches. Let's go.
and then there was a bunch of Japanese words that were typed in, and I was like, I cannot read this, and so I typed English question mark. They were like, follow kill base or whatever, and I was like, okay, and we went
That
and
answers the question then. They were doing it back when the Unit 4 was out. Huh.
well, I mean that was like the Unit 4 cheese at the time, right?
Yeah,
A
but
whole team of Unit
the thing
4s.
I was asking before was like,
Oh,
were they already thinking about it?
oh
Were
yeah,
you
yeah.
just on the
There
cutting
was
edge of the
definitely
new
the.
meta suit for the base busting?
I think
But
the
yeah,
original
so
one was
like
the
they were trying
Thunderbolt.
to do it with suits back in the day. So yeah, Thunderbolt, then Unit 4 is like, ooh, big boy gun. Hold on. And all the other stuff it can dump out.
Yeah,
Okay, so there was a progression to this. That's cool.
I'm. I might say that I'm was probably one of the first few to try the Xeong and like have major success with it. So
Yeah, the base bust has
so
returned.
yeah, pretty much like
Essentially.
so then I started doing that in games and stuff and getting a lot of hate mail for it. And
Like what
now
the
now
fuck?
now that it's more common though, I don't get it as much.
Right, because now they just how many more people are you gonna yell at?
Yeah, right. So that's what makes me think like I might have been one of the first to start in that trend of that, just because it was a lot more common to be like, "You're not even fighting. How are you? This is dumb." And like I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm also taking up you and two other teammates while I kill your base. Like it's
For a
literally a
billion points
two
and
v
stack
four
my
over
damage
there."
stat.
Yeah, 2v4 over there. I pretty much guarantee beat my rival, and I get the base, which is worth like 5 or 6 kills. So I'll take that. But anyway, so back to the point of the sweaty tryhard. Like that could be viewed as a sweaty tryhard strat, right? But I mean, I'm just like I don't even stand a chance against the GPO1 FB people. Like I just don't have enough practice in space.
Have they foiled your base busting? Is that like the moment where you gotta be like, uh-oh, this might be a
Like
rip?
yeah, if somebody if there's one of those guys in there, because he can overboost and not care, he can just like always melee me in the back. Like he can out
Mhm.
rotate me and everything, so they'll overboost, they'll melee you in the back twice, and then like if you try to rotate, they'll just stay on your back and then keep
If you're
meleeing you.
at in the distance, like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So if you because you can't tackle, you can't counter from behind, right? If they're hitting you in the back, they can't be countered. So you try to tackle just to save your life for that second, and then you either turn around and do something or die. Yeah. So it's kind of insane some of the stuff they do. So I'm really curious. With that said, back to the Hammurabi, I'm really curious to see what players like that will do with this thing, because I think with the Sea Serpent, like there's already those people that were in like the Goof Custom back in the day,
Oh
like
my god, yeah.
really doing work with that thing.
Real talk, if we talk about the evolution of
Holy crap! I see where Emblem's at.
and like the people who are really good in the custom, then they got the fucking Marasai, and then after that they got the Humbrabi. It's like forget it.
When
Yeah,
I fall through the map still.
Oh no.
No, they fixed
Oh,
they
they
fixed
fixed it.
the
They
water
fixed
map.
port base, but not.
But yeah, I like for real though. I was curious to see if Chad wailed last night on this
Oh, I've
thing.
never been down here.
Oh yeah, didn't we when that map came out? Didn't we specifically try to test that spot again?
Oh
We're
yeah,
like, hey,
yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
did they
did.
do it?
I was just kind of secretly hoping it was still messed up. Honestly,
You know what though? Like, try to fly through it, see if it does it. Then it lets you clip through.
But yeah, so cool. I think we brought it back, and now do you guys want to hop into the patch notes? I guess. Unless you have any
Patch
other thoughts on the
Good.
Hammurabi or
I think it'll be nice.
sweaty
Like,
tryharding.
the damage output seems high enough to where like players should be able to run it effectively, even without utilizing the mobile armor as much. But like, I think the real like uh boys that are freaking literal new types are just gonna get in there and crush
Oh boy,
with the suit.
get
Like,
ready for the highlight
when
reels.
you're doing everything. Yeah, when you're doing everything right, like I think the suit's just gonna clap. The damage output seems pretty good. Bring back raids
Pretty
would
much.
be
I mean,
the
I think this is actually, speaking of the raid thing. You know, we were joking about, oh, it's a raid though, so it's kind of nerfed by default. You know, Gapsley or Marasai, but worse. But I
right.
actually think this has some bonuses that the Gapsley doesn't have, and or you, well, obviously it can fly, so it
It
has that
helps.
over the Marasai. But I think in this case, it is probably one of the more overpowered raids we've seen in a long time, in the sense of like it's probably not Striker Custom overpowered, but it's definitely on the stronger side of things.
I mean,
Like the
speaking of
Gaflant,
Striker Custom, you clapped one pretty hard, so I don't know if that's even overpowered. And a Zoc of all
hey,
things.
The Zoc's the end all be all. I mean, we already talked about how it's the best suit of all
It's
time
already busted.
when it came out. So yeah,
hey,
no
I'm
no
just
one stood a
saying,
chance.
you guys,
Anytime you
you
say that
guys
suit's
said,
overpowered, even in passing, I'm gonna get that clip. Put it in the chat.
you guys said though, if
You did it yourself. You did it.
wait, what? Oh no, the Striker
Yeah,
Custom, no, no,
exactly.
damn it!
Did you not realize?
I was like, wait, what's he saying? Because
Nope,
I was on another
it's
train of
all
thought
you
about
now.
clipping
No,
emblem.
no,
Oh no.
no, no, no. From yesterday.
Man, see, this is the problem. I said, well, back to what I was about to say. So, you know, the last time on the podcast, we were talking about would you spend the tickets on the Zoc? And I was like, I think it's a top tier suit. Spend the tickets. And I'm just saying,
It's in there.
I've been taking it to 500 games and clapping. Like, I only have the 450, and I'm just like, nah, 500, let's go. And I told you it was my suit. I knew it was my suit, guys. I already knew this.
I hear that.
So, like, this is the sumo
Big
Zoc.
Bune.
See, that's the thing. I have
Oh god, socks of diapers.
see, I have a different Zoc than other people. I have the sumo Zoc, right?
Oh,
So it's like a
God.
Zoc custom for me. It's
The Zoc Kai.
yeah, or it's the Zoc, and then in the little parentheses or whatever, M or EGM,
MNG version.
EGM, EG Magnum, right? So it's got
It
the
stands for man need
reversible.
gun.
You got the
EGM
reversible.
custom.
It's the reversible
Magnum, he
diaper.
froze
Guys.
on us.
Uh-oh.
There, now he's back. Magnum.
Can you hear me?
He's catching up. I think he's in there now. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we
world decided to be like,
yeeted a few
come back.
frames. I hope it didn't completely crash, but
No,
but
you're
yeah.
still in here.
We have the reversible diaper though, which is pretty nice.
Reversible diaper.
Just saying.
Let me just like your eye switches and your hands just pull on your diaper and switch it around. Like, hold on, let me just readjust
no,
myself here.
No, it's just good either direction. It's the same way. It's already, you know. So No big deal.
I'm too big.
There we
I
go.
can't get through there.
Good angle. Got a little Michael Bay, or is it Michael Bay lens flare? Who does that? Got a bit of lens
One of
flare
those.
there. Something.
There you
That's the new film meta. He created it. It's too
go.
much.
But yeah, I like the Zoc. I don't know. How do we get on? Oh yeah, we were just talking about like random meta suits.
Yeah.
But
Star Trek guy. Yeah, that one.
Dom Barrage, Zoc, the
Too many
GOG,
cooks. My butt.
you
My butt.
know,
No.
making random suits work.
We were talking about
But
the patch notes.
Yeah.
I know for sure.
oh, that's where
I
it
think
came up.
we're doing closing notes on the last two things we were discussing. We were
Yeah.
going to start the patch notes.
Something tangent happened again. What a
Yeah.
surprise.
J.J. Abrams. There we go. All right, and on that note,
On
so
that
patch
note,
notes, am I
patch
right?
notes time. Yeah. The rest of the stuff. So we got 2 suits on the side. We'll go ahead and just talk about those. The Unit 4 and Unit 5, 600 cost.
Stay in there
Red and
once
blue
again.
Gundam.
So, funny thing is they're in their same spots on the original version that I made of this. So we've come full circle for this overlay.
The best assets are reused ones.
But what's really surprising, and I know Gustav said this last night, was why don't we have a banner for those? And yeah, why
Yeah. The
not?
only answer I have is just GBO days happened. Although at the same time, I'll say that's not a good excuse.
Pretty much. I mean, I can't think of any other real reason why.
So yeah, weird that it didn't get its own gotcha, but those are two pretty big deal suits, especially to be at that high of a cost. I guess how well do you think those are gonna survive?
I think they're fine. Again, my problem with the Unit 4 is if you try to just use the giant laser and miss, you end up just
Feels bad.
blowing your load on nothing, and then you've got to wait or die before you get to
Mhm.
try that again. And that's a big part of what it seems to be balanced around. So the
I
rest of
guess
it, go ahead.
in that case, like how survivable is the rest of the suit, right? Like it can still Bluezuka. I know a lot of people prefer that over using the rifle. But is its kit like doable? Is it gonna keep it alive long enough to try again? Or should you just lean on its ability as opposed to just doing that all the time?
I mean, really, you just need to be practiced enough so that when you don't have the beam, you're also still doing good work and relying on just being a blue
I'll
and
say that
frontlining.
the at least for Blue Gundam, the kit kind of I think works well at that cost. When you're up at, like for everything that's not a general, like you're pretty well off whether you use rocket or beam. But you have a lot of good stuff to punch through maneuver armor or break or like stun somebody through a giant fucking shield. MLRS. 'Cause you can either do like a beam or a rocket shot and then follow up with the spot gun,
Yeah, the spot's
and you
really
should
good
be
for
able to
this.
stagger up there. You also have Vulcans.
Like, I typically just go beam heavy with it just because then you can just
I like beams too.
stat for beams, essentially, if you're gonna do any recharge.
Because I know if it was me, I would play it kind of like I do to Gelgoog, where I
Yeah,
just chunk people with the rifle, essentially, and kind of just play like a supplementary general. Like I'm still doing poke damage on the front line, but I'm not really like um, leading per se. I'm just getting my big chunks in when they're open and MBLing on occasion.
big chunk. Get in there front line when you need to, like, get behind me, Mr. President, to the
Yeah,
Raider support.
follow up on openings
Yeah.
and like continue beam staggers and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I play it for the most part. Um, Again, at 600, though, I don't know, I think the beam is just gonna chunk, like, you're gonna delete a raid.
Oh
like
yeah,
Hammurabi or the Gaplant that doesn't actually have a shield to save it.
I'm,
Like,
I can't wait to see a Humbrabi that actually like tries to front on a charging unit 4 and gets there too late. That's just gonna be fucking hilarious. Just goodbye.
you know, like the
Exodia, obliterate!
Yeah.
the whole beam of
Ah,
light
my
and the
everything.
like
The
fading
whitewash of
away.
the like the
Yeah,
frame.
yeah, that whole anime thing. That's exactly what.
Dude, you'll literally get animated on.
Someone needs to get that, and then they just put in that clip with Cell getting like disintegrated by that
Yes.
command ray at the end. Just rah! But I was the perfect raid.
Speaking of kind of like that, sorry, everyone's talking about Sirocco in my side right now, and I just wanted to mention that when we were talking earlier about
The Rams, yeah.
the captain, well, no, the captain dying to the Big Zam, and we're just standing there. Like in my head, all I could think of was the captain was like, "Theo, why won't you move?" And the Big O, and not the Big O, and the Big Zam is just the Big O. Yeah, the Big O was there. The Big Zam was just fumbling with its buttons, trying to get its laser to fire.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, by the way, just on that note too, like it was technically behind a rock, shot through the rock to hit the target. So
Dun dun dun.
Oh, it was hiding. We didn't know it was there.
yeah,
How could we not have noticed the Big Zam?
I
I
mean,
didn't realize we didn't know it was there.
they
How
were
does one not see
And
the
we're
Big
just
were
looking at
moving
this
it
dude
in.
smash a button like, what's
They
he
were
doing?
moving it in. They were moving it in right after when he was like, "Let's talk." Anyway,
It was
I mean, if
creeping
no
up.
one
The
rolled
Big
for
Zam
him,
has a
then I
sneak
guess
level
you
of
wouldn't know.
100. Yeah. Big
but
Zam sneaks up behind you and loots your pockets. It's like, oh, my clothes. I never had those on anyway.
This is little aperture hand comes out.
Oh, my shirt.
Oh, mind if I
I
do?
wasn't wearing one of those anyway.
Oh, he's
Joke's
only
on
got
you. I never
$20.
had pants.
Oh no.
Team No Pants, by the way.
It was just a spandex spacesuit.
Okay, so the Gundam Unit 5. Unless you have any other thoughts on the Unit 4. But
That shit's gonna be obnoxious. But I can't wait to play it.
I don't really
ready
have
for
much
that.
of an issue in the MLRS. And at that point, at 600 right now, like, if I didn't have the MLRS, then I'd be using the 551 since it would have hit the ticket shop. Any support player who is saving tickets hopefully has that. So even at the 550, yeah, that's the Gatling. Like you have to pretty much do the whole "I'm gonna lay down" when the missiles come at you.
Yeah.
Then you
Just
stop,
fruit
lay
down and
down,
just
and then
let it loose.
yeah, you always have to crouch. That way the shield's kind of blocking shots, and then you prone whenever something's coming at you, like a missile or rocket or anything. Like that's pretty much the about the only thing you can do. You're gonna try to range the MLRS, but if it's anything else, or even just helping out, adding damage, that thing claps now at 500 cost because they
I guess
buffed the
I
Gatling.
guess the problem here is that like a lot of teams for 600 plus are gonna only want one raid, if any at all.
Yeah.
And I feel like with that Gatling, it runs as a really good supplemental raid, but it might have trouble actually getting in there to do more Unga Bunga style stuff, even though it is competent at melee.
I mean, I guess that's the bigger point too. When its Gatling is down, it does have a long cooldown, but I mean, it has 3 melees and it can clap. Like,
Yeah, that hyper beam also, when you can get around that shield, oof. You're gonna be seeing chunks of your health go away pretty fast.
what do you think about it, Emblem, at 600?
I think Red Gundam will be pretty well off. It doesn't have the dodge roll, which might be a bit of a concern. But I kind of think you'll just be shooting things a lot more, probably. Because, I mean, if you get in there, you're going to be very vulnerable. And any follow-up is going to be kind of rough. So I think you'll be kind of leaning heavily on your stuff. The only problem is, like, I think you're probably already having that problem at 550, but at 600 it won't get any better. Like, the shield is just going to make it hard to engage in MLRS, I think.
Yeah.
And that's
I
that's
guess
what I was
the
gonna
other
say.
thing too is if you whip out the bazooka, because Fury brought it out, is like you have some pretty semi-aggressive people in GPO or GO5s with bazookas.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit easier to get that splash damage around the shield, get in there,
Yeah.
mash them on the floor, and then just do what you got to do from there.
Right.
Further-
And now I was just say, like, the rocket launcher will probably be more relevant, even though I would probably still want the beam rifle just because,
That output when you actually do hit.
not just that, but, like, man, I can't hit with rockets anymore.
Yeah, I suck with rockets too.
Can't do
Kinda my
that splash
problem.
damage magic. Oof.
No, that's why I stay at a low cost. I can't do beams, or I can only do beams now, and even that's shaky. So
Oh, over the shoulder rockets is my weakness. When it's like the Dom with the one under the, then I'm fine with that. Like the gun
See, I'm the other
cannon
way
Type
around. 'Cause
D.
I want that extra
Zaku one.
clearance.
So, but one thing too, I think what we need to see for that suit is a buff with the dodge roll at level 3 and 4.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think it needs to get a dodge roll at 3 and 4.
I mean, I feel you. GBO has a lot of low hanging fruit in regards to balance changing, and they just they just
Dodge
leave it on
rolls
the
would be
tree,
the easy
man.
one. Yeah. I mean, I feel that way, and I'm sure people who are just better at it don't. I feel that way with the bowling note because every once in a while I'll take it in his face and be like, "Yeah, I'm really zippy." Then I get hit and it's like, "Well, better roll out." Oh, I can't. Help!
Right.
Well, I can see reasons for certain suits not to have it. By the way, also with the buffs to the high gog, I do want to talk about the high gog a
Gog.
little bit, but maybe after this. But like, yeah, it having the
Wait, wasn't
damage
High Gog
control.
last update?
Yeah,
Did we not talk about it last week?
I mean we did, but nobody really had played it, so
Magnum has been playing it.
I've been playing it quite a bit.
That's true.
Like I've been in there with it. It is absolutely absurd. So,
I'll allow you to take up the mantle of the high god.
We got our High Gog stand.
oh my gosh!
Ladies and gentlemen.
The thing is, I need your paint scheme though, so I can play the high cubilog.
The Cubile. Yeah,
Because I gotta get
I got
in
you,
there with
fam.
the high cubilog.
The Cubagog.
Yeah. I actually get the suit, so I just got a dream.
Ouch.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So the Unit 5, I think, could use a buff there, and then also another point at level 4, they should get the complex expansion slot level 2. Be nice for both of these. That's a lot of parts. Just saying.
It's a lot of slots. Oh boy.
A lot of slots.
I'll tell you.
So, any other thoughts on those?
No, I mean I'm interested to see when they become more common, see how they play into people's compositions, especially in public. Like right now, they're not very common. People are still in their honeymoon period with like the Humbrabi and Hyde tier is pretty much just the same as it ever has been. Besides that, so
Yeah.
it'll take some time, I think.
Also, we got
Believer.
Yazan's
Let me.
normal suit. So
The day reset in Saga. It looks cool. Like the blue and the yellow. No turtle tat though.
Looks very spiffy. Yeah.
yeah,
That's
what
another.
was like the?
Also, like not a decal or anything. Like,
I-
damn, dude.
I'm
we
calling.
got the
We're gonna get the
stupid fish.
turtle. We're gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna get the turtle.
And I like the fish. We need more.
We're gonna get the turtle on anniversary. It's just gonna be something you play. It's one of the limited missions. I'm calling it.
Oh god.
I'll allow it.
It has to be. Because I also won it, and I don't want to have to 10 spin. But
What's
after
the
talking
last
about the
emblem that we
Hammurabi,
got?
The last what?
What's the last
Emblem.
emblem that we got?
wasn't it like
In
one of the
terms of the
Ayug
tattoos
or
or whatever. Yeah.
Titans or whatever?
Yeah, I feel like it was one of those.
Um, but yeah. So, oh, by the way, have you guys seen all the memes? Like, there's been a million memes from the Violate memes,
Please get the
the
fuck out of
Hammurabi.
me.
No, I've not
Oh
seen
my
any.
gosh, there was just like when I went to post the update video on Reddit, I was just like, just saw all the memes and like when I saw the Hammurabi and I just saw a picture of his
Violate.
face and I was like, oh, I know where this is going. So yeah.
Well, it's good that people are on it.
So anyway,
Yeah,
I
Jan's
need to
on
do that
pretty
on other
memey.
platforms
oh yeah, he
so
is
people can actually
definitely
see
me.
it.
But GBO days is up. Get your free box. I forgot to get my free box. Oops. I'll do that right after this.
There you go, Magnum.
But oh, did you post one?
No. I just put the colors up for you, bud.
Oh yeah. Woot. That is awesome. Thank you.
Of course, I got you.
So GBO days also during this same period, any new and returning player has a 100% chance for a box drop at the end of a match. And if you have a friend that is a new player and you're playing with them, you have a 30% increase that a box will drop. Which is pretty much better than I think is that better than the platinum medal even? So play with new players or find a friend that has alts that they don't mind playing with you that hasn't
Right.
played in a long time. Because I think you have to you have to have not played for I think 45 days to be considered a returning player, something like that. If anybody knows the specific number on that,
I'd have to look.
but I think it's 45 because I found out I could alternate between 2 different accounts, and pull that off essentially. So let's see. In the ticket shop, here we go. Rider Space Type level 2 and the Zogok level 3. Now we've talked about the space type before on here, so if we don't want to repeat too much, I think it still holds up the same thing. Can recommend if you need a general for space at 450. I think it's top tier. So that's pretty much all I got on that. You guys have anything?
It's nice. It's a better red gundam in space.
Huh.
Because it's blue.
Can you dig it?
It has 2 beam sabers, and then it's got pretty much the same kit. And I think it's Vulcan's, or no, spot gun. I think one of them's better. I can't remember if it's spot gun's better than the Unit 5 or if the spot gun's slightly worse. One of them has a better spot gun. I wanted to say the Unit 5 is actually better, but
It's your auxiliary pew pew while you're waiting for your other stuff.
yeah. And then you have actually depressing damage with its double beam sabers. I don't know. Maybe it's just I got so much pew pew that it just feels so much worse. But when I downswing something with those double beam sabers and I'm like, haha, you just barely got chunked. Oh,
Mm.
my bad.
It
I should
feels
have
a
shot
little
you
weird
twice.
that it's that underwhelming.
Yeah, I just use it because it got a wide swing and I can knock somebody down. Then I just shoot and
Right.
follow up with a melee kind of thing. That's about the only thing I do with it. And then it's got Hades. I mean, when you're in Hades, though, everything just feels like it hits hard, so that's nice.
Yeah, you hit harder and everything hurts more.
Yeah, this I will say, this is probably one of the suits that you could argue popping Hades is definitely something you do
You
your
got to
own
make
risk.
sure that like when you do it, you got to know that you can kill that motherfucker in front of you, because the bigger damage up you're going to be doing requires you to stand still to do it.
Yeah, that's the big thing. You have to know that nobody's looking at you, and you can just sit there and Gatling for a day. And because if a
ABG.
support looks at you, then goodbye, pretty much. You're gonna be chunked half health or lower. But when you're in there maneuvering, though, if you're gonna go in, you definitely need to pop it because having that double dodge roll in space is invaluable. Like just being able to dodge roll like that and then boost down, and because it's a space suit, you can dash all over the place. So being able to dodge roll and then still be able to dash afterwards is amazing. And I believe that it has Force Injector 1, so that upgrades to 2, maybe? I'll actually look on that one. Yeah. Any other thoughts on that one?
It'll be interesting to see
Seems good.
how it gets in there.
Yep. If you like space, can recommend. The Zogok level 3, though, is a 450 suit.
Mm-hmm.
You guys think it falls off too much by this cost?
It's got an instant knockdown, and it has another melee weapon to get in there with afterwards. So, kind of no. I guess the scary thing is that as it gets up into the higher echelons, it has to deal with a lot more beam based stuff, and it still
Yeah, its
has that
beam resist
weakness
starts
to it.
showing.
So it starts to get melted a bit faster. You can deny it a bit easier.
And yes, the Pell
I
Rider
feel
would
like
have Force Injector 2, by the way.
that's gonna be one of those suits where like the guys who are already good at it are just gonna be like, "Hey, guess what? Now I can do this at another cost. Have fun trying to
Yeah,
stop
now I
me." And
can
then everyone
play
else is gonna be like, "Oof, this is rough. No thanks."
Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I said when I was talking about it. It was like you can buy it, I think at 350, so or 300. Wait, no, 350. So go ahead and try it there. If you like it, then more of the same, only higher. So personally, I think it's a little big, but that's also me playing like the Dom Barrage. The thing has maneuver armor though, doesn't it?
Sure does.
That is nice.
Gustav chat's telling me that your doppelganger Gustav the 14th is making his rounds.
May or may not be true. These matches have been a little interesting. But I mean, they've been a little rough.
But yeah, they definitely, the buff to it though is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like giving the Zogok that buff definitely helped out quite a bit. But okay. Let's see. So now back to this.
Sorry, I had to read this comment. Dragon said Gustav the 14th is Gustav's prodigy. And then I'm just wondering, like, Gustav, what skills would he inherit from you? Just bring us back into Saga world.
Well, put it this way: Gustav the 14th got killed by Gustav the 13th.
Oh no!
So spoiler alert, I guess a little bit. Gustav the 13th got exiled with his mom. Came back, and like some of the vassals that followed his mom were like, "Well, the King of Finney is starting to be on the decline. Gustav the 14th is trying to hold the helm." And so they had a battle. He captured the 14th on the field, and his other dudes executed the motherfucker while he called him like a faker in the background.
Wow.
So Gustav the 14th doesn't last very long.
Oof.
Oof.
But yeah, someone
The
took the
inheritance is
13th
nothing.
on here by the time that I got on to make my name. So I was like, fuck, I don't know. I guess I'll be the shittier Gustav then.
the Gustav that gets owned.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's
They
like
don't
either
play.
I'm his dad, the 12th, who's a dickhead, or I'm just the one that's not as good.
So the next suit we got was the guard custom in the DP store. Speaking of DP store though, you can buy the Zogok level 1 in the DP store. So if you want to try it out, there you go. You have to be a
get that loot.
sergeant though, so there's that.
Let us final quack.
That's funny.
Sorry, I stopped reading chat. I just imagine a Gustav on the field getting bopped, and it's like honk, last honk of glory.
Oh my god. I kind of want to get that scene when he's walking away and just like replace the text with like honk.
Yes. Do it.
Oh my god. There's so little, and it's kind of sad. Like there's some playthroughs of it, but there's so little like GIF or like animated content for that game.
We need memes for old video. We need memes for old video games that people don't know about.
Yeah.
Come
That's
on,
right.
guys.
Needs to be done.
Okay, so the guard custom though, in the DP store. What do you guys think of the guard custom?
I like it.
It's fun.
It's nice when you close the gap and get in there.
It's literally you just putting up a wall and being like, "Hey, if you don't do something about me, you're just gonna keep getting hit."
Yeah.
It's
a
nice
lot
when it's
of
not a
fun.
shotgun floating around.
Not to
That
mention
too.
his shoulder daka is a good lead in because you can just running blast it and then just smack them upside the head with your dagger real quick. It does decent
it's
melee
on par
damage
to
when it gets in there.
GPO Vulcans for sure.
It's like a GPO but stumpier. It just doesn't have as much
And
reach in the
also
blade.
a lot less health if they get behind that shield.
Oh yeah, that's the scary
That-
part.
that's-
HP on the shield's the same.
You gotta land on your good side when you get knocked over, otherwise you're in big trouble.
Oh yeah. So that's kind of my problem is when I normally get hit, they miss the shield and hit me, and I'm like, no.
Oh
leg.
god. I got sensitive skin, you guys. Don't do it.
But it is definitely fun to play.
I think it tickles like all the different ranges though. If you're one of those guys that likes to dirtle around in DACA for an entire match, I mean,
You got 3 different modes of DACA if you use the bullpup.
yeah. The beam, the spray gun or whatever it has, pretty much shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
I like
don't
it
know.
though. I feel like it hits enough. Like if you're doing your job with your machine guns, or like if other people are following up on what you're
A
targeting,
finisher kind of
like
thing.
once they start to run, guess what? Bam! Because it's got that reach on it,
shot
like a
back.
surprising amount of range. So you can just slap their ass and make sure that they die.
I guess that makes sense.
That's what I use it for anyway. Like, unless I absolutely have nothing else, it's usually just the follow up for people who are trying to run.
Yeah, I normally just get rid of that gun, but yeah, I might try it for that now.
Especially in like lower cost, right? Because you have suits that aren't as resistant to beams anyway. Like I know you're working against your type disadvantage as it is, but like it's not too bad. But like this is another one of those suits where like the alternate weapon is very common. So like if you're just more used to MGs or you just want extra DACA, yeah, by all means just switch. That's kind of the nice thing about it too. It's not like a super rare sub weapon. Like if you just want a different playstyle, you can immediately switch to it.
Right. Yeah, once you have to close the gap, because that beam dagger does crazy damage, you know, like when you close the gap and get in, I think in one combo.
Literally just plugging it into people like, guess what?
Unless you're like me and just
You're dead.
with the melee half the time.
Oof.
So
It's
bad
hard
with that
though.
suit.
Gotta get you in the
so
melee
bad.
boot camp.
Super tight.
Pretty much. I got the
It's
DACA
funny
down.
because I remember seeing people talk about it's like, oh, it's got surprising range, yeah, for like a short sword at most. If you want to consider it that.
But yeah, the beam dagger's base damage is 2200, which isn't bad, and the weapon itself has 100% neutral and side modifier and 140 on downswing, so you do full damage on each of like depending on like on the first hit for each of those directions that you go. But even a fall off isn't too bad. Like I believe they adjusted it at one point in time, so you freaking cut up everybody. It's really nice. There's just be careful to downswing, and as a stabbing downswing, kind of like think of like the spears. What's another suit that kind of does similar downswing? I'm trying to think. That's not like a striker custom.
As a downswing, like the stab.
Yeah, I'm drawing a bit of a blank.
And kind of.
Oh yeah,
I feel like there's a more specific example, and I just can't remember what it is. That might just be the example. Look.
Yeah, Nemo neutral. I guess doesn't
yeah, the rest do it as neutrals. That's a good point.
what's the GM cannons?
Yeah, GM Cannon
One
2.
of its swings are kind of like that too, right?
That's the
Yeah.
neutral as well.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it's more of a stab. So
I guess if you want to
kind
compare
of
it
like
to
the ball
something, the Zagok or the
yeah, kind of like claw
Zogak.
suits
Yeah,
or
because it does like the full body stretch with it.
which would do like a straight punch or kind of thing.
Yeah.
Even the like Goof neutral, I think, does that. Or sorry, the Goof.
Oh,
I wonder if technically some of those would have like more range
stab.
too, because this is just like a humanoid suit doing it.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure you can hit with the heat saber
Yeah, I think.
with enemies on the ground.
But yeah, just be careful of that swing. And
Yeah, you get a lot more mileage out of like neutral or side neutral side or something like that. Than you might get out of the downswing. It just kind of one of those things where like if you're set up right, it's not too bad. But I know if in my cases I'm usually charging at them and I'm kind of on an angle, so my neutral or side swing is me hitting them, and that's not my camera, which is me hitting them kind of like almost behind them, and me turning my camera to get back on them while I'm like trying to like keep the damage going. So you may be at an awkward angle and miss the downswing.
But
But it's
yeah.
interesting. I think you get a lot of punishment at it if you're trying to play more melee. But you can always just sit back and dock
Let
up.
your bullets do it. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing that I don't think I heard us say is that the guard custom does have a unique prone animation. It will
Yeah.
put the
Yes.
shield down in front of it, where like normally it kind of holds it in front of it, but it'll like move it kind
It
of
literally becomes like a low cover wall.
Yeah, exactly.
So anything at range, they pretty much either just have to shoot the shield or
Get all the way around you and downswing you.
yeah. So
I think the GPOs do that too. I'm pretty sure they do.
they actually cover all the front.
I don't know if it's as effective as
Yeah, I was
the
gonna
other
say
one, but
I think it's more
Yeah.
I think it's more like this much, and you could still hit
Yeah,
like
I mean
a
the
little
bigger
bit.
thing about the striker custom is that actually a bigger shield. It's not as thick, but it's a lot more flat, so it covers more area. But the way that it holds it, it covers it more so on its side than it does when it's like neutral compared to like the GPO2.
Yeah.
speaking of the shield coverage, I don't know if you guys mentioned it, but there is a difference in the way it holds its shield normally. Like if you're using the shoulder Vulcans or the machine gun
Oh
or
yeah,
whatever,
when the shoulder Vulcans come out, it actually
yeah,
like covers less of
moves the
itself.
shield
Yeah, it's just
to
like
the side.
hit me.
But if you're trying to like defend yourself with it, use the built-in shield Vulcans, and the suit will kind of like put it directly in front of it.
Yeah, especially when you crouch, it's literally just a wall,
Yeah.
so you don't have to go full
Tackle out of
prone
it,
for that.
crouch.
Yep.
Always loved it. As
Always
the guard
remember,
custom.
gotta play like chicken with suits.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Dock them until they get sick of it and try to rush you down with melee, and
Yep.
then you just tackle them and put their nose in the dirt.
Is your maneuver armor gonna give out first, or are you gonna die first? Because if neither of those happens, I still got my tackle. Let's go.
hmm And then it's actually in a freight and he shotguns you and you cry.
He's like, oh no.
But
Like he stops short. What's he doing? Oh no. You realize what he is. Well, damn.
you either crush things or get crushed. That's my final evaluation of the suit.
I
Phil's
like the
raid,
shoot.
man.
I like the dock, so that's why I like it.
Shotguns go bang bang.
Pretty much. I need to learn how to melee with it, and then it would probably be like one of my top raids.
Just imagine you're playing the GPO2 BB, but your beam saber isn't the size of
It's
like
stubby.
a mobile suit.
And my
And
downswing
doesn't have
doesn't
like a crazy fan or anything.
and the downswing doesn't, use the shield as your thing, so you don't have like
Cool
an
buff.
Instead of
area
your,
this
it literally
wide.
moves its shield so it can stab a motherfucker. Like, nah, this is in the way now. Bye.
Like
And have a
downswing
downswing
of the GPO2 is gross.
skating across their head.
But cool. So next we have 4 new parts in the DP store, which is outstanding. the shield reinforcement level 5. If you like shields or shield health. Special leg armor level 4. Personally, I think 3 would be as high as I'd go with those. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I mean, I guess we get to the point where you have extra parts, then why not, right?
Yeah, like higher cost suits, whatever. Like if you have an excess, then you might as well.
But I don't think the level 4 is worth it.
A lot of the
Special-
higher level stuff is still kind of in that category. It's like this is the cost of an entire suit slots. Probably not gonna use them.
Special back armor level 3 though is kind of interesting. Because in space, you don't know about this. When your back is destroyed, you can't tackle, you can't dodge roll. You pretty much are a sitting duck in space. So having better back armor for only 5 close range isn't that bad. Now again, you're probably going to want thrust as well, so that's going to be competing for that. But I could see 3 being kind of worth it.
I thought I did 2 space matches.
So, what do you guys think about that? Would you agree with that? Or
Yeah, more or less.
I mean, normally I at least use the level 1 back on just about everything in space that has a chance of getting hit. So pretty much draw C every time, and I still get my back broken half the time.
Some suits kind of have like protection for it, like the back buffer, like on the Super Gundam. But even then, like it's such a big target. More so, and especially like even when it comes to legs, like if I have specific issues with the suit getting legged a lot, I'll do it. But until then, I'll usually just focus on attack or like body parts in terms of like health.
Yeah, I agree with that. I normally try anything else, and then if it's like, oh well, I've lost my legs,
Yeah, this
9
is
out of 10
specifically a
games.
problem with this thing. Like I need to like try to rectify it.
Yeah, it's always a good way to do it.
And I'll kind of defer. I don't think I play space enough. I probably wouldn't put the part on, but I don't think I know what I value in space yet. Because I feel like in the matches that I do play, like I've had my back get destroyed, but it's never been like very often. So I don't know.
But what is the value of Space Emblem?
That's the tabletop RPG run by DM EG Magnum every Wednesday.
By the way, you want to know where the title came from?
Sure, yeah, please.
I literally
We
just
got
plugged
lore.
it in like a title generator thing. So I picked like 50 words in category A, 50 words in B, C, and then it just pieced them together and picked like, A, the, and just put, connecting words in between. And I was like, that sounds like it's got some deeper meaning. Got it.
I just hope we get a title drop at some point in time during the session.
You know what the thing is that it could literally just be an episode title for the podcast too. The value of space.
You should just do that. Name generate all the podcast
and we just riff off of that afterwards.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Well, we'll never even know. Just be something on YouTube. Just be like, why is this episode called fluctuating space time? And it's just you guys were just talking about battle operation, and it never came up. It was like, yeah, I just want anything through a name generator.
It reminds me of like YouTubers like Super Beer Bros, like talking about what their name title is gonna be halfway through like an episode. It's like, don't forget, there's gonna be like this weird in joke from this one spot from today. Just put it in there, and like you're looking at the title, like, what the fuck is, huh?
Oh yeah, right.
And then you get to it, and you're like, oh, okay.
I feel like I've seen a lot of YouTube content. The name will be like "Kicking Babies" or something, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, right.
And then you watch it, and it makes sense. Yeah.
I love that bait.
But we'll be new meta where none of that happens. You never understand
generate
what
it
our
from the
titles
beginning,
are.
and it just never makes sense.
It never makes sense.
Yep, exactly.
Actually, that's gonna be like that's the rule for the next podcast.
Yeah. So from here on out, we're not only gonna have it numbered; it's just gonna be a random name generated subtitle.
If it'll fit, I have to figure out how many words I can fit after.
God.
Oh yeah, and then
title thing.
set the generator for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, did you figure out the character limit when we had Mobile Suit Gihren's Greed,
Oh
whatever?
yeah, that giant
Oh
Gihren's
my
Greed
God,
thing.
yeah.
I tried just to literally have it that, and it was still too long. So
Damn.
I had to put real title in description out from this, because literally I was just like, okay, forget having anything else. I'm literally just gonna copy and paste that for the title.
Mhm.
Like no number, no downtime in the hand. It's just gonna be that for the title, and I was just like, still too long, and I'm like, well, I
Damn.
tried.
Rip Oroni Pizza Posty.
But yeah, so um the next part, we got data uplink level 2.
Hey.
That
Ports Rejoice.
is also only 90,000 BP. Most of these are actually pretty cheap, which is cool.
Mhm.
The shield thing, I don't know.
Rest in peace
Shield
to your
part,
limbs.
but database link level 2, 6% damage. The legs, mainly legs.
That was, I mean, well, also the face, but you're not hitting the face. You're
Yeah,
going for the
unless it was Lunaire yesterday being in the Unit 5
Oh
and
my
I was the Zoc and I was just like,
face.
you
You
know.
know what? Putting that on when you're taking on the Zoc specifically might not be that bad because it's just all.
Its whole body is its head.
Pretty much.
What's
yeah,
another suit? The Joagu, because the trunk.
Dragu,
Hi, Gog.
Agu guy.
Mhm.
Well, speaking of the high GOG, I mean, well, real quick, what do you think about the database uplink?
Oh, yeah, we were supposed to talk about that.
I
Fuck.
think the database uplink is, for the cost, having 6% damage for 4 long and 2 medium, considering
6% limb damage, though.
yeah, it is
Yeah.
limb damage.
Like, I'm not saying it's bad, but that's not gonna like translate into any extra mobile suit damage.
Faster.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
literally just making them immobile faster. So if you're in a suit that has very high blast radius on it in terms of your weapons, or if you are like in a tank suit, you might want to consider it because you're literally like all your shots are going to be either hitting body or leg.
If you're a gun
Mostly
cannon,
especially when you have that cluster shot, because that's all leg.
Mhm.
oh yeah,
Unless you try to hit people dead on, but like it has a shorter range than your regular cannon, so you're usually aiming at the ground.
gun cannon, fantastic. Its beam rifle just wrecks legs. Any sniper that has good leg damage. I'd say if you decided to use a higher cost GM Light, even.
Also, if you have a bad habit of being dumb like me and running the sniper custom with the 2-barrel, good choice because you could just use that output.
Hey, that's
out their
what I
legs
do.
and they just start limping at you.
High five, Gustav. That's what I'm always doing.
In
Oh,
there.
it lagged right when you clapped,
Damn
so
it.
it was broken up. Okay, round 2, go.
I'm trying to play.
Okay. Oh well. We'll mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Yep, fishing mailed. Oh well.
Okay.
I need scissors.
But yeah.
69.
That's
Yep.
pretty much the database link. It's good for anything that claps legs. Oh, here's a good one. The Gundam ground type full armor. Yes. Full armor Gundam
Yeah,
ground type.
that fucking missile, man.
Well, and its beam rifle, or its beam
Arm.
thing that shoots like 20 times before it overheats. I thought it was only like 4 or 5. I was like, man, does that thing shoot like 5 times?
My brain went B type. Sorry. Yeah, the ground type totally. Holy shit. Like also
Yeah.
like don't worry about the missile thing.
Oh well,
at
yeah,
that point.
the missiles do actually do pretty well too. Like if you knock somebody down.
If you're worried about it not stunning, just put that on and just aim for the legs. Just see them fall over when they boost at you. Like, well, okay.
My first run in.
Hey.
My first run in with the when I was playing the Quell to a full armor Gundam ground type was I was like, haha, I found a support. Oh wait, it's not. And it was just like pew 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 pew. You know, I was just like, oh my gosh, it just beamed my legs to death. What? Like he just literally killed me before I don't know if he staggered me or what. I didn't notice how many times he shot. I just saw the beam and
you just
that
like,
was it. And I was like, I'm almost dead and I can't move. What in the world did that thing just do to me? And then yeah, so at that point he could have staggered me, followed up by knocking me down, and then just straight up missiling me to death. So, but yeah, anything that claps legs, there you go. Throw that part on, especially if they have a lot of long range extra part slots. But yeah. Speaking of the Hygog though, unless you guys have anything else on the database, now we're into the balance section, and I didn't realize how much it actually got because we talked about the buffer and stuff. And I'll actually bring up the game real quick. So I'll just go to the what is it? Hygog starts at 350, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go to the 350. So, you know, it already had maneuver armor, which is cool, but the special shoulder buffer, level 3, and it's pretty much all shoulder. And when you're boosting at somebody, you're pretty much leaning forward. So like either you're hitting the head or you've got two giant shoulders that are taking 30% like less damage. That's pretty big. I'm just saying. Like, so my question is this actually, because again, does this count like as resist or does this count as a reduction? So does it stack additively or multiplicatively with your resist reduction? I mean, we could test that out and figure it out, but
I think it might just be a reduction.
Yeah, that's kind of how I thought it worked, but at the same time, I'm not sure what the math would be.
yeah, so if it's additive to your resistance, then that's kind of crazy. But if it's just multiplicative reduction, then not as good, but still pretty solid. I'll take it. Because the I don't know, I feel like I'm living a whole lot more. Plus, it got 1,000 health, and it got more resistances. And was it just resistances, or did you get damage? I think it was just resistances. But now you can swap between weapons better. The missile, I haven't clipped the ground yet once with a missile because now my thing's holding out the missile in front of it now, and it's just like, boom. I've been able to hit that so easy. It has been amazing. Like,
I'd hit that.
double dodge roll. Oh, damage control. The next thing it got, damage control. Level 2, which is a big deal.
Really good skill.
So, pretty much, what happened yesterday when me, you, and Lotus were playing, I shot it with the Type D cannons, then the bazooka, then I noticed Lotus beams hit it, and then we were still hitting it, and it still wasn't staggered. And I'm like, what in the world did they do to it? And then I was like, oh yeah, damage control. So you got your maneuver armor and damage control, and it's kind of insane. Like, we did not break this maneuver armor and damage control while it was boosting around. And now, since I realized that, I've been doing that more. And yeah, it was really fun during customs last night. So then it has the anti-blast stabilizer, which is nice because it's so big. Something dies near you, and you would be on taking a knee. So overall, though, the shoulder buff causes it to feel like it has another 2,000 health that you didn't have before. Plus, it got 1,000 health, and then the damage control. Plus the balance to the weapons and that missile. They also apparently one of the problems with it though too was that you would get the flinch essentially. So now when somebody's shooting you, your flinch is almost 0. So wherever you're aiming, the missile just goes. So there's no clipping the ground anymore.
No flinch.
That's a good change.
Yeah, like just being able to use that missile and chunking somebody for like 4 and 5k damage is just like goodbye, see you raid, peace knock.
Yeah, because I noticed my mobile suit's a crazy wacky inflatable wavy arm guy, but it shouldn't play like it's one.
It's like you spent all this money just for it to fly. You know, the funny thing is that like we talk about that, and I want to be like, we didn't spend all that money on this suit just for it to fuck up like Honest Missile, but it totally didn't show.
It's
That was for
canon.
different.
They were following lore, guys.
I was gonna say it was because that dude literally got shot through the everything, and like it just got plopped on the floor and just went everywhere.
But yeah, really solid suit now. I'm really curious to see. You know, we talked about people that were already good in it. I am
Mhm.
scared of
Oh
those
my!
people that are already good in it. Because I went from being like, this
Where
thing is trash, I'm never playing it, to
we got some
tell me
shit going on,
more.
and if we think some shit's going on, then the people that already were in there are like, oh yes, quadruple woke now.
Yeah, I feel like this is like someone's this is somebody's Don Barrage right now.
Oh
Like
god, yeah.
so
Beware the high cock stand. You will not last the match.
so
Yeah, it's scary.
but yeah, any other thoughts on that?
It it's nice just because maybe it'll diversify costs at like lower costs. I don't know if they'd ever bump it up in level, but still, it's good to see a funkier suit be more confident because those are the kind of designs that make Gundam fun, at least to me.
So
Yeah.
the next suit though that is on the buff list itself is the GM Sniper 2 White Dingo.
Yeah, where's Loop? Loop out here like my boy the Dingo.
That white
Like
dingo stole my baby.
so there it
That was
is.
from the session yesterday.
Yeah, that was oh man.
I actually believe Mecha said it in chat actually, but
So specifically for the level 2, units firing modifier increased from 33 to 38. Adjustment also made for level 3. Range weapon, the large beam rifle, enhanced type. Level 2 power increased from 1680 to straight 1800. Wow. That's wild. That's a good jump. That's actually a pretty good jump.
Yeah. And the thing is, by the way, guys, you know, we got some of the new Hangar stuff that is 5% damage.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
No
that
big deal.
that we were just saying is supposedly a big deal when they balance. Just saying.
on most suits it's not bad. You know, when you're already doing a really good job, it's just oof.
It's one of those
Oof.
things where like
I mean,
pseudo supports have been a thing for a little bit, but pseudo sniper suits aren't very common. It's kind of tough to run it in that configuration unless you're doing it aggressively. So I think this is a nice change. Give it more output so that those guys that are just snapshotting and trying to get in actually have some good damage to follow in with.
yeah, it's I definitely kind of play a little bit closer with it, and
Hmm.
Yeah, because that lack of I feel like that lack of punch is the reason people started playing it that way.
yeah,
And now for the people that want to hang back, they have a little bit more reason to, because now they can just hunt raids a little bit more efficiently. And like any support that tries to step up to them, they can't out shoot them, but when they get tagged, that'll hurt a little bit more. And they'll be like, maybe not.
It's given a nope.
Yeah, given the not right now. Go find somebody else.
And I mean, on top of that, just making adjustments is nice. You know, nice damage increase is good. I'm sure the people who use that suit are like, I'll take it. Give me more buffs.
oh, yeah. I forgot what time of the year it is. The
Luke was
war
super
zone
hyped
started.
when we actually mentioned it. They're like, yes.
Yeah, right. Like actually, yeah. There's a few people. Like you said,
He's
Luke.
actually really, yeah, he's really good at it too. So like, it'll be interesting to see what he can pull off.
But yeah, I don't know if it started for you guys, but the war zone just started outside.
Oh god, no, I haven't been able to hear anything too crazy yet.
Yeah, I was
I
like,
won't be surprised once it gets a little bit later because it gets darker later, just because of daylights and all that.
Hmm.
But I won't be surprised by the time we hit like 11 or like midnight here. Papa, papa, like just all day.
People shooting off fireworks early.
Because
Oh, yeah, it's already going.
The state calls it clear for pretty much the whole week. Like once July starts, they're like, yeah, it's okay to do it, and then they just get like a several day span to just like cut loose.
These credits are still going. I have the battle operation credits playing.
A
They've been going for a while.
lot of people in there.
Apparently,
wonder,
not
like,
one of them can balance.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I also kind of wonder how many of those guys are still on the crew now, especially when you talk about like the guys who are working remotely.
Oh, for sure.
How many of those guys are still involved?
I should have paid attention to the names. Maybe like after about 20 names, they start looping them. See if you're paying attention.
Yeah,
Kobe,
what are you talking about? Most of it's just
Kobe, Bill.
if there's anything for marketing in there, then let me just take that snippet and start laughing.
They have 6 brand managers.
Oh
Just
boy!
happen to be passing by. So those guys are doing a great job of
In
putting the
Japan.
game out there.
Oof.
To be fair, in Japan, right? But even like
Well,
their Japanese
we
one, like,
must be in the Western side because these aren't like Japanese names.
like, did they change the credits for that kind of stuff? That'd be kind of
They
interesting.
may have added in the Western staff as well.
That or in Japan, they're like social media. What's that? Like, what do you mean?
Ready?
Just look at it on the website. What? I got to do this on Twitter too. Oh, geez.
So the next thing in the notes, though, is for clan match stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and change the text here. Talk about that.
Oh yes.
So the next clan ranked, we will be playing for a new suit. So assume the top 3 will be the top 3 clans will be the only ones that can get it, and it is the Dom Cannon single gun type.
Yup.
I'm probably just gonna call it the Dom single cannon.
Dom forever alone.
Oof.
It's
350 baseline.
yeah.
Still
And
support. Also very bizarre. You think they would have changed the type since it also has the cannon there.
So looking at the cannon, that looks like a big cannon. So
Knee stagger?
knee stagger? Yeah.
I kind of hope they do that, right? Like,
Like,
just differentiate it.
because it looks like it has the arm missiles too. So it literally looks like it's the exact same suit, only what is the difference? And I mean, that's about the only thing I can come up with.
Yeah. Because if it's just the worst version, then like that sucks.
Or
They'll
even
give
if
it
it's
dual SMGs as a sub weapon.
That or it just hits really hard, right? Like if it doesn't knee stagger, it
Yeah.
just slaps.
the other one already kind of slaps anyway with the damage buff that they did. So
You have to alternate a lot with that suit, though. I feel, but
yeah,
if I'm saying this thing slaps, it like goodbye to your life, kind of slaps.
But
I was
if
done
this
looking
also can
anyway.
use the bazooka, then it should have the same weapons. Is kind of my point. So if this does slap and it can use the bazooka, then it's literally just a better one.
Yeah.
So they have to do like a knee stagger or maybe low ammo count or something gimmicky.
Knee stagger would be the safer one, right?
Yeah.
Because they kind of moderate that a bit better.
So we actually I can look, but if somebody has it up already, when the next clan ranked is.
It's in the 4th, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
it should be this coming
It was the
weekend.
4th, yeah.
That's
another
what
morning match. 6v6 desert basic match.
So it's gonna be another one of those weekends where if people don't show up, I get it.
Yeah,
Because
pretty much.
whole last holiday weekend.
Holiday weekend, yeah, pretty much.
I feel like shit's gonna go down because of the fucking quarantine shit too. This weekend's gonna be weird,
Oh yeah.
and not for the right reasons. So just be careful out there, guys, for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But
It'll be interesting. Everyone's gonna be going hard for the first week.
yeah, and that's another thing too. Like this would be more team building games, than anything is what I call them.
A team building exercise.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice? Do I get paid time? No. You gotta be there. It's mandatory. Fuck.
Afraid not.
But so yeah, the other thing I kind of wanted to talk about here with clan matches, unless you guys got anything else, is did we only have 6 weeks the last time?
Yeah, I think it's always been 6 weeks.
Well, no. What I'm saying is we had like 10 weeks played of the first ranked because they were having issues and they kept it going.
That was the exception
So
because we weren't able to get on it.
as far as if you look at the graph, and I'll go ahead and pull that up. If you look at the graph that they have for this, on the 7th week, it opens up to 41 through 100, and after that, it's 41 through 100th place. Get the suit.
Interesting.
And they're saying this is the 17th one. I thought we had 10 before. Now, I haven't been able to go back all the way and check.
Right.
If somebody wants to start looking for that at the same time, I was going to do it too. But pointing out here on this graph, though, that they have here for this, or this table rather, yeah, until the 23rd ranked, it you know, at most it'll be the top 40 get it, and I think we only had 6. I mean, again, I'm misremembering probably here, and if we did have 7, then cool. But that would be really weird if we actually only had 6 ranks, and then they're just like, well, time's up. We're just gonna move on.
Yeah, because I mean, I thought the idea was that they're supposed to open it up to the top 100.
But my question is, where is the lottery? Here we go. Lottery lineup. I'm gonna actually bring that up real quick and see if we can find. Was the Night Seeker a 2-star?
1 or 2?
Was it a 1 or a 2? Or
No. Night Seeker 1 or Night Seeker 2?
oh, Night Seeker 2. Sorry.
I don't have it, but I think it's a 2-star.
That's interesting. Actually,
apparently they added a GM Cannon Space Assault type level 3. By the way, guys.
Yeah, they did. That's all. That is in the item list.
Yeah, it's 2-star.
That was not in the notes, but that's kind of cool.
So
I'll
that's
mention
the
that claps.
Oh, the credits are finally done.
You know how we had those shadow suits that were added? Now we're just getting shadow levels of suits.
Yeah, right. Okay, so if it's a 2-star, it is not in the lottery yet, which they said when it would swap over, it would essentially go to the lottery. So where the Night Seeker 2 at? Yeah, I'm guessing next week. Or when the clan ranked actually happens. Well, next week, yeah.
Yeah, so next week. We'll see. We'll see, because, yeah, it should be close to when it's switched over. I forget if the MSV was immediate, but I did know I wasn't too far behind after they switched to the Night Seeker.
So yeah, that's kind of my. I don't know. I'm kind of like, if anybody who was really practicing and like, yeah, we've got a chance at it coming up, woot, and then it's like, yeah, by the way, that was our last one. We're moving to a new suit now. If you were
Rip you guys.
practicing and getting top 50 or around 50 to 60 place, then wait another 7 weeks to try to get this one. It's like, oof.
Ouch.
Good scrubs.
But yeah,
Bob
hopefully
says to play the game well.
This, and if they're stable enough, the schedule will start to stabilize as well. And then we'll see what adjustments they make after that. Because that's the other thing. Like, I don't think even the top 50 are going to change that much from week to week. Like, the same crews are just getting in there over and over again because it's just something that they do.
And assert
You're not
dominance.
restricted for it, so like.
Well, I mean,
That's-
kind of. I
Right.
mean, out of our 3 groups, I know Emblem's T3P definitely was up there in the top 100 at least a couple of times.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably say we in the times that we have participated, we've at least gotten top 100 more than we haven't. Although I will say, as of late, I think the last couple of times we were unplaced.
How close did you guys get with the last one? Because that was a really big increase in like the minimum for the top hundo.
We didn't even have enough people for the last one, but that's when I was having trouble with my stuff. So I don't know. Like I think the one before that a couple of people played, but for the last one I don't think we had anybody in for the matches.
I'm gonna look for the clan matches thing here and see if I can find it quick. Going back to like December. So
Yeah, I don't know. I know I bring it up a lot with the whole placement thing and like the usual suspects and stuff, but it's like one of those things where it's not just for bragging rights, it's for actual like prizes and content in general. And that's like the bigger draw for this kind of stuff. Not to mention I feel like that also causes people to like you have those specific teams that form for these who take up slots like that, and then you have people that are filing in and out of certain clans just so that they can get those prizes.
Right.
So it kind of changes how people like just interact with the whole clan thing in general. Especially when there's not a lot of in-game like hosting, I guess is a way to put it. Like you don't have like clan housing or anything like that, or like places to hang out. The chat's usually not used because you're doing it on console and not a lot of people want to bother with like hooking up something for it.
So real quick,
You don't just hang out in the base camp and chat?
No.
What's up?
so just looking at this, the announcement for it said it would take place on the 10th of May. So assuming one every week after that, so that would be one. Then let's say the week of the 14th would be 2, 21st 3, 28th 4, the 4th that's 5. Then we had one where it was canceled, so let's just minus one off of that. So back to the 11th 5 and 18th 6. So we have a week in between one though at some point, because I know sometimes they don't just do it every week. So either we just had 7, or this would have been the 7th.
I feel like the breaks are just whenever something happens, though.
Well, sometimes they'll have one like stretched out for some reason. Like remember there was the one that was going to be on Saturday, they got canceled, and then, or it was either the Saturday one that got canceled, but then there wasn't going to be one till the next like Monday or whatever. So like there was like almost a whole week in between of not
Yeah.
like 10 days
Yeah,
out or something like that, 10 or 12 days out.
you just skip the week.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
they
I'm
did
not
that every
sure.
now and
I'll
then.
have to look, I guess.
So
I
if
don't know
they
if that's
did
something
that,
set in the schedule. Like I don't feel like it's happened recently, but I kind of wonder what dictates that.
I'm gonna try to find the calendar real quick. But I mean, I don't think we actually had a 7th clan match this time around. Like I do want to look at that and try to actually confirm, because I can just look at the update videos, because I would bring up the clan schedule pretty much every update video, so I can just go back and actually count them that way. But wanting to say we didn't, which just feels weird. I don't know. Just because that they have it there on that, I figured they would at least have 7. Which again, if that one that was canceled, then they would have technically had 7. So maybe that was just they were just like, okay, we've already planned it, we scheduled it, so let's just stick to the schedule and go. Which fair
Mm.
enough. I mean, again, if they just put it in the lottery, then cool. It's just one of those things that I could see some people being upset that we're getting consistent like 50 to 100 just about every clan match. So also apparently the Night Seeker claps. I again
Yeah,
just
it's pretty cool to see out there.
just
It's
using the
got a good,
measure. Oh, go ahead.
it's got a good range of like beam weapons. I like that it can use the strip beam rifle. The 2-barrel apparently is another option that it's got. I really want to run that and see how hard that claps. But also on top of that, you have the submachine guns as an actual sub weapon, which is pretty crazy. You can just dump extra damage before even taking a single swing at anything. It's got options. They really kitted that out as like a kind of weird tactical version of the suit. Because that's kind of what the Night Seeker in general is supposed to be. This tactical bro GM that just does weird shit and funky operations.
Yeah, I've heard mixed things about it personally, but I would like to be able to play it.
I mean, my kind of measure too of just like something's DPS is just looking at that the ladder on the PvE stuff now. Like
Mhm.
I find that an interesting
I think like that's good
type
for
of
raw DPS, but like in terms of targets that actually aren't giant and hulking, like you
yeah.
should probably focus more on actual matches.
But like for instance,
Mhm.
the again the Hamrabi just being up there as one of the top suits for that right now is like that's promising. And the Night Seeker 2 was in that category when they did like the 250 one, and I was like, well, that's cool. So just kind of interesting that one of the top 3 teams had that in it, or it was one of the top 3 in the single. I think it might have been yeah, that's right. It was the solo run. I think on it was either Survival or the Psycho, and
Mhm.
it was like number 1 at the time. I thought I don't know if the Cold Districts ever passed it up, but they were really close, like by like a couple of seconds, if I recall correctly. So
Hmm.
definitely interested in getting it just because anything that has that kind of damage output, I'm like, I'll try it. Which is why I'm kind of tempted to roll on the Hamrabi now. But
Yeah, would recommend. I definitely like Night Seeker 2.
so last topic that we can cover, and then we can do some suit speculation and wrap it up. Um, the well, first of all, one of the things that I was trying to do here at the same time um was this. There we go. Yes, the Haikyuu log is done. Paint scheme complete.
Hey.
Okay. Anyway, um, now in the missions. So what do you guys think about the platinum medal? It being 38, and knowing the numbers and rewards now. What's your all's thoughts? I can rant here in a second.
So I need to really evaluate. And so it's 38.
Yeah, 38. Yeah, if you want me to cover a couple of things, you got 38, and some
Hmm.
interesting things of note. 42 missions is now
Mhm.
50 of the gold enhancement tickets, and only beating 15 rivals
Is
is
all of your stuff.
50,000 DP.
They super consolidated all that and just put
So
it in thing essentially.
So the thing is, I normally don't hit 42, so I'm kind of like that's a little awkward. But if there's any kind of event, then I normally hit it by the end of the
Mhm.
month. Like I was 41, and what I could have done though is like if I really, which now I probably will, but now if I'm at 41, I could like just do the play 100 space games So yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I'm gonna have to actually like put effort into doing because I normally don't go out of my way to play space that much.
Yeah. So I was
The rest of the
literally
okay, besides the ones you literally gotta buy through for the tokens and shit.
but not fit. So then the maintenance kits, you get pretty much most of the rewards goes bronze, silver, gold, till you get to a certain point, and then it's just gold, 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 gold. Pretty much what I call the pay to win point. Because tokens wise, you're not going to hit those gold boxes like that unless you've got 200 tokens, and you pretty much can't get that just by playing the game at that point.
Yeah, you could definitely see where like the the game definitely gets to the point where it's like PTW or P2W, like I think like at 200 tokens for the month is it's just like gold boxes from there. Recycle tickets pivots into gold boxes at the top end pretty quickly, and all the monthly MS ones are gold boxes too. I'll say though, like I like the rewards way better
Yeah.
than they
So
were before.
the thing is also to kind of point out the daily rewards. So now instead of being 8,000 DP for a week and 3 tokens, then 1,000 DP after per day. So we haven't seen what we get per day after you complete the weekly or the daily rewards for the that segment. But the you get 10,000 DP on day 1. So now you get more than a week's or more than your entire daily rewards by 2,000 right there on the first day. So you get a big 10,000 boost, which is nice,
Mhm.
right there at the beginning of the, login period. The only thing is the amount of maintenance kits is 5. Literally
Yeah,
5 bronze, then a token, 5 silver, then a token, 5 gold, then a token. And it's like, what? Come on. So,
that feels like a tentative number. Hopefully, they adjust that and just kind of leave the DP thing the way it is.
yeah.
Because that was my concern going into this is that they don't have a way to buy DP, and like unless we start earning more per match or in events that give us more, that's going to be a little tough, especially in the beginning of the month, to try to keep up with the amounts that you need for those upgrade unlocks. But it seems like they're a little bit more self-conscious about it than I thought they were going to be, so that's good.
So as far as, kind of obviously the system for the hangar and stuff for new players is kind of well ripped. And now that we don't have the limited rewards where you pretty much got one full upgrade for each tier of suit, now the question comes, how long is it going to take you as say a free player to get a 3-star suit available for upgrade with just the token. So if there's no big event, which good news, anniversary events coming up, so anybody
Yeah.
looking to get some boxes in the platinum medal really quick,
Mhm.
that's going to be the time. Um,
Uranium tokens.
yeah, pretty much. So from what I
I'm
can
hoping
figure
that we
out,
also get an event for Maxi Boost, because otherwise we're just gonna hit a drought after the anniversary.
yeah, that'd be a little awkward. Well, I mean, the anniversary should continue into next month, though, right?
Mm.
So it might be
I
part
think
of
all we're
the.
gonna see is the navigator, honestly.
Yeah,
Like
that's probably it.
maybe they'll have a banner or something showing the game is out. You
Yeah,
remember
I
when
mean they did it for cross trays.
yeah. Was it just that little fancy screen or was there anything else for
I
it?
think there was other stuff for it. It wasn't like super crazy, but like I think there was more stuff to it than just that.
I mean, I'd be down. Maybe we
Same
could
thing
put
with
one of the Maxi Boost
narrative when it dropped
OGs.
too, and like I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
narrative
like try to
Gundam and
be
stuff.
consistent if you're gonna do it for stuff like that.
I feel you there. In that regard, you think we'll see some promos for Hathaway's Flash in game?
That'd be hype. I'd be ready for that.
Oh, that'd be
What if they just gave
Put the
up
old Penelope.
on maybe just gave up on Battle Op as a form of advertising and they're just like, oh yeah, sure, whatever.
Hopefully
done.
not. And I mean,
I
when all
agree.
that stuff drops, we'll see, right?
Yeah, pretty
Yep.
much.
Let's see what the marketing, the brand
The brand
managers, all
managers
6
are
of them, decide to
doing.
do.
So the next thing too is monthly suits are all gold kits as well. So like right now I have 0 to rip. So that's going to be another thing too. If you get lucky, that's going to be nice. So on average though, I'd say you're going to get between 200 and about 220 uh maintenance kits per month for gold. Now, silver and bronze, I'm pretty sure you can actually end up with a bit more of those. Possibly. But still, you're probably not getting much more than I'm actually, yeah, 50,000 DP, that's another, yeah, okay, actually, yeah, you get quite a few of those. So silver and bronze, you're probably good. You're probably getting around 300 a month. Be closer. I didn't actually do the math for that because the main ones that I've been curious about is what are the gold maintenance kits going to be, right? So at best, for somebody playing for free, that's 3 months to get their first 3-star fully unlocked. And then, well, a little bit less because you'll be acquiring them over time, but it'll be in the 3rd month. And then they gotta upgrade the suit. So I know this is one on the longer time uh, spectrum, but 240 days if you get completely unlucky and get only successes with the
Oof.
MLRS. So add another 90 days onto that for 330, roughly. Actually, well, it's less. I'll say 70 days. So
So I guess
310 days
um
to get the MLRS fully. If somebody started playing and got that suit, they then
mhm.
started enhancing it. Luckily with the base enhancement, you're going to be doing it over the normal time probably. But yeah, that's pretty rough. Up to like
Do you
300
think they
days.
should increase the normal increment then?
Yeah, I do because that's kind of crazy. But again, if you just you know more money, then you're gonna be able to get it done a whole lot faster.
Mhm.
So that's
But yeah,
That's the selling
especially
point,
since
right?
like the enhancement hanger also lets you skip through those by using your packs and stuff too. So you can get through the regular upgrades a little bit quicker with those. And there's like a different icon to show you that like yeah, these still aren't to the new unlocks yet. I noticed that.
yeah. So
I wonder if people will start using those packs early on instead to just like grind through the regular stuff and like not even bother with the bigger things.
I mean, again though, on some suits like the detector. Again, my biggest issue is like suits like the detector are getting like raw awesome stats like health and damage. Like that thing doesn't need more damage. It already chunks. Like we were comparing it to the Nemo. It now beats the Nemo because I'm pretty sure the Nemo 3 doesn't have that same damage modifier. I think that's what somebody answered in chat, or maybe it. I can't remember if you told us what it was, but I want to say it was like it didn't have the damage mod, and I was like, that's just weird that they would
Have to
give it
look.
to one instead of the other when they are kind of competing for the same role, sort of.
Yeah. I mean, this is the same reason they give all the raids the general damage reduction skill, right?
Mm-hmm. So they can be more survivable.
Oh man, there's that too. I mean, at least on some of them though, they got like melee resist, which is kind of the same thing, right?
A little bit. At least if you're
So,
dealing with Mark twos. Oof.
but yeah. So overall, back to kind of the main thing because we've already talked about the system and ranted about that enough. But yeah. So as far as the medal goes, the positives here, like you said, we do get more rewards than what we did before and earlier. So probably anybody who was playing, and trying to do it straight for free was not getting 50,000 DP out of the missions. So yeah, so that's a bonus. Now you just get 50,000 DP for beating 15 rivals. That's very easy to do in a month's time. So no big deal. So you get a huge chunk of DP, get it pretty quick. Get 10,000 every cycle through the daily login stuff. Then you've got your clan mission stuff. That's going to give a huge chunk of DP. So DP is actually coming in pretty well now. And with the platinum being in there, once that hits, that's going to be really cool. And again, we already talked about the numbers, but having the 9 times bonus to rewards and everything, when people start popping those, can be really nice toward the end of the month, especially after the anniversary event toward the end of the month, where probably everybody's going to have the platinum. So, if you want a lot of DP, play at the end of this month, the end of next month probably, and you'll be getting a lot of DP and probably boxes and XP and CP and everything else. But what do you guys think of? I mean, do you guys think the maintenance kits like that's fair to get the 200 a month, or do you think they should give out more for that? I think they should get more. Like,
I mean, they should always get more. I mean, my thing is like, if you're gonna be that stingy, then it's because you have a big player base, and that it doesn't matter if you change it because people will still play. I don't know if this game, even in Japan, is in that situation. So being more erring on the generous side when it comes to that stuff, so that people can mess with your stuff more, always just seems like a smarter idea.
yeah, seeing these 200, like 40 boxes for 200 tokens, 50 boxes for 250, 60, and then 70 for 230 and 245, and then 80 for 260 tokens. Like, that's a
In fact,
fully upgraded suit.
I kind of wonder how many people looked at this game, realized it was a gacha game, and immediately just turned it off, or like just never installed it once they realized that part.
Sure, there's some people that are like that for sure.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
just like, what? And like now you have those people that are trying to get through it because they like Gundam, and then they implement this system, and it's just like, oh, well, it's just like all those phone games. I don't like. Fuck it, bye.
Yeah, it's
And it's like
turning into that.
went that route too.
Yeah. Like, I mean, pretty much what I've been saying in chat. This is one of the first steps to getting me to quit the game.
Like, I wonder what the culture is in terms of the player base when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like, are these guys
mean,
just kind of like used to it because they've done it in other games and they just
Yeah.
don't really care? Like, are they just desensitized to it? Or are they a little bit more like actively against that kind of thing? And they were just kind of hoping this would be a little bit different. And like, if you were expecting it, then no, you probably shouldn't have. But people are sometimes a little bit more hopeful than they should be, I guess.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know. I kind of think, like, I don't necessarily think you guys are wrong, but at the same time, I can kind of see the idea of the amount they give out too. Like, I feel like this is another kind of form of retention for the game. Like, you view it as like a negative or a reason to drive people off, but um, you know, it's something to kind of grind towards. Granted, maybe it doesn't work as well because this game at its nature is a competitive PvP kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I honestly think that they know exactly what they're doing with the amount they're giving out. And the point is to make players pay more, or
Yeah.
not pay more, play more rather, or pay.
Well, I was
like
gonna say that
either or.
like playing more does not actually give you more.
Yeah, playing more
That's the
doesn't do
problem.
anything because it's not buyable. Like, and that's the weird thing. This seems like a half step if they're
Well,
going that
let me
route.
ask you this:
And
Do you think I'm
that's what I
talking about
wonder.
do you think I'm talking about in a short period of time? Because I'm not. I'm talking about a long period of time.
Mhm.
Like I think the end game. I think the play more mindset is play more over a longer period of time. Because I mean, it's not like you can just say like, "Oh, let me bump my matches up to 5 a day instead of 3,"
Right.
and I'm going to catch up with the whales. Like, I think for those people who don't want to play or don't want to pay like a bunch of tokens, the idea here is that, for those people who care about it, this is something for them to chase. I think I don't know. I think it's
Well,
definitely
What I'm saying is that
incentivizing
like
more
it's
play.
just weird that there's no alternative. And that's a good thing because like there's no whale to catch up to because whales don't have an advantage over that right now other than like maybe getting those token bonuses a little bit faster for the initial suit bonus for platinum. That's probably like the bigger thing in terms of
well, you
like
get
if you
another
want to talk
box.
about a race between like free and like premium because people are throwing down more money. But the rest, in terms of the actual upgrade system itself, I mean, it doesn't really change that much.
I mean, though, if they are welling, then they're probably getting like if every 3-star suit they get is going to be gold tickets. So,
Mhm.
and then they're probably
For the
completing the
baseline stuff,
42.
right?
Like I barely, like I said, I barely get to 42 every month. Like so, if I don't have monthly suits, then I'm like if I don't get any of the monthly suits this round, then there's no
Mhm.
way I'm hitting that 42.
And that's the other thing too, I guess, is like for the monthly suits, I guess you can buy through it, but that gotcha is a little brutal.
Yeah. So I
And
mean, I
the suits in there like aren't even like I kind of wonder because I don't look at the list for it too often. Like how many of those are like I guess recent banner suits as opposed to stuff that's been like pretty backlogged by now.
no, sorry, real quick. Let me do clarify one thing too. Um, if you do play and get space and every one of the other things you can do while just playing, you can hit that 42, but you literally have to do, I think, every one of them. Because I mean, I think they changed these too. And also that means getting your containers too. Playing enough to get your containers every day is going to be another thing that'll give you that. I can't remember if you needed the containers to hit the 42 mark or if you just had to play and you can hit it. I think you can hit it, but you have to literally do the win 200 battles, play space 100 times, play 300 battles total, um, and get like I think it's 30 containers, maybe something like that. So I mean that's kind of doable for the
I'll
containers.
I'll say this. Um, like I'll kind of reiterate kind of what I said like when we first talked about it is that for the average player, the idea of this isn't to be able to upgrade all of your mobile suits. Like you need to know which suits you want to put in, save up your things for that, and upgrade that. And again, as you play longer, you can branch it out to more other like suits that you like to play. But honestly, like I think a lot of that stuff is rewards for whales. Like I know it sucks. I know it sucks as a free to play player to see that stuff and not be realistically able to chase it. But at the same time, I mean, the game besides like chase mobile suits, the game has to create other things to incentivize players to spend their money. Um, I don't know. I think it's probably like another big reason for it. That's why platinum exists now. That's why they have those better benefits for the players that changes each week. Not only does it give the whales like those better and like more lucrative monthly rewards, but they also have a reason to whale like every week of the month now because they have to, or not every week of the month, but they have to get or earlier
Every
and just
first
have those
week of the
token
month,
pools.
yeah.
Yeah, they have to
Well,
get that. They have to get those things.
Those first month bonus drops.
so here's kind of my point though. I mean that's the thing. It's not supposed to be a system where you're gonna have every suit, right? So like my
Right.
main suit's the MLRS or the Don Barrage, right? So one of those is probably gonna be the one that I'm focusing on. So
Mhm.
here's kind of my problem with the system. Because technically you could say, well, if you're playing it pretty consistently, you're gonna have at least the bronze medal, so you're gonna have 3 suits upgrading at the same time. So you could probably do 3, right? So let's just say um, you do one uh, gold, one or one 3-star. Well, actually, by the time you get the tickets and enhance actually the point you could do that, you're gonna have enough for 2, maybe even 3 of the gold um,
Mm.
3-star suits. Um, because it's still gonna take you probably as somebody who's playing closer to free to play, you're 2,000 plus points, 2,600 points, which is still um, about 2 months, a little over 2 months. But just say you get lucky, let's just say 2 months. So my thing there is, if it's still going to take you 2 months, well, then you have enough to get around 400 crates, right? Say there's an
Mhm.
event went on, you got a bit more, so now you're like 500 crates total. So fair enough. Now you've got one on its way to the first upgrade, but you've done both first upgrades, and by the time you actually get there, you've got enough to upgrade them both to the level 6. So the crates are going to be fine in that regard. My problem though is that to upgrade one suit to level 6, you're taking half a year or longer. That's the thing. Like,
Mhm.
if you are playing free and you're not spending a lot of money, or you're just not getting, if you have godly luck and get a bunch of gold crates every 10 spin you do, and you're getting a lot of gold tickets, gold enhancement tickets. So if people spending
Mm.
a lot of money, like, they're gonna probably have more 3-star drops, and if they get repeats, then at that point they're getting just straight up enhancement tickets toward whatever suit they want.
Right.
At that point, somebody paying that much money, probably, I'd say there's probably already somebody that's been wailing on the game already. There's probably somebody who has their first suit already upgraded to 6. I wouldn't doubt that.
I'm sure.
Oh
So,
yeah,
so
especially if
that's the
they
thing.
stockpile a lot of that stuff too for DP. Like I
So
wouldn't doubt it.
if you're playing as a free to play person, or even supporting it, like, I've already got, I think, with the help of viewers, I'm up to about $60, somewhere around there. So, I mean, that's the price of a new game, kind of, right? So, I'm pretty much satisfied at this point.
Right.
So my point is, at that point, I'm kind of almost done with spending money on the game for now, and uh, it's kind of one of those things. I feel like that's a pretty decent amount of money put in, and I don't even have enough tickets for that. So the crazy amount of money that people are spending to have those amount of tickets is like, that is probably gross amounts of money
Mhm.
on this game, and I'm just kind of
Mhm.
like, oof. And in that case, with some of these stats being as good as they are for suits that are already good, like, at that point, like the Mark II, thank goodness didn't get good upgrades. Like, if it got good upgrades, I mean, again, we talked about it. Like, they probably couldn't, but if it did, then that is just that. I don't know. I would have had like this huge rant. I probably would have made a 30-minute video on it.
I mean, you're
But
already there.
yeah, I'm pretty much already there. But yeah, so my problem though is, it's still going to take. So say the Mark II is really good and it's meta, so everybody's going for it. So that, the person who's like, well, I got to follow the meta, I got to get this suit up there. If they don't spend any money, they're pretty much half a year or longer, um, kind of being generous on the great success that they get, and probably dumping their
Mhm.
tickets into it
I
would
guess
probably get them to
that's
about a half a year before
I guess
it's
that's
up
the
to
big
par.
thing, right? Like we talk about the detector and all this that had these kind of gross things, but I don't see a lot of detectors run. I don't think we have a very strong example suit that's blatantly being grinded out for yet. That's something we need to see within a community that we just don't have evidence of yet.
Yeah, that's
Right.
that's
And
that's
in
kind of true.
terms of that, we just don't have the time yet. It just hasn't been out long enough to do it.
Yeah,
Now, if that changes, we got rumblings on YouTube or Reddit or whatever, people talking about the meta and like, yeah, this XYZ cocktail of like upgrades and people are starting to hit it and we're seeing like a noticeable difference and it's like really actually
Mhm.
trying to like push or shit the meta, then that's when this is also like going to be a legitimate problem. Right now, what we're talking about is the hypothetical
yeah,
on a system
Right. Well,
that's
we won't
meant
know
to
until 6
be,
months from now,
yeah,
right?
because it's literally going to be a million years until anyone gets there, and I feel like that's part of the point of the system, but this also just seems like a soft introduction to make that time be faster. Like there's no doubt in my mind that at some point, that could actually be touched on again.
oh yeah, like,
And I guess like if we want to talk about it, all we're talking about now in terms of the negative is the potential for bad things because it's too slow as it stands right now to really be that much of a detriment.
and probably the amount of people that are actually welling, you could probably, like, as far as the actual player base,
Mhm.
probably not enough to
And
be
that's
getting.
that's another thing too. Like this is where having that kind of like stat tracking in terms of like sales or just what their player base is doing, just that kind of data would be a lot more important when we talk about these situations.
Yeah.
And
So,
it's just not there. And for their sake, they'll probably try to keep it that way, unless people really like we have someone start leaking that shit from inside on BV Studios or whatever.
I mean, I guess my big thing is I'm kind of scared about what they're doing with it quite a bit, and that's kind of what I mean though, Emblem. Like as far as like what you were saying though, it is going to be like a one suit thing, but it's a one suit thing that is that far out, and for somebody who
Yeah, I mean,
could just spend the
I don't
money.
think the time I
Like,
don't think the time itself
mhm.
is good. I don't think it should take that long, you know.
Like for
Maybe
me,
they're
it's
like
just the
just use your
idea of
ticket
like
slow.
how much life does
Mhm.
this game have left for this system to be that slow?
Right.
That's another
No,
thing.
I agree with
Yeah.
you there. Like I
Like, do they really are they that confident that they think this is gonna be something people are still fucking with a couple years out? You know, is the PS5 client, if that even happens, gonna put this over into that range? Because I honestly think no. Like, I like this game and we rag on it a lot, even though I like it, but like, I don't have that kind of confidence in it. I really don't. At the very least, if not here, then maybe even in Japan. I still feel that way a little bit, even about Maxi Boost. Like I know a lot of people have been lauding that version of the game, and I know they're really hyped for it. But I, like every other fighting game, will not doubt that most casual players will probably drop off that shit within
for
like a
sure.
couple months and just not give a fuck about it anymore. And we'll see the same thing that happened with the other versus game where they just drop support because obviously no one's playing it.
I mean, right now, pretty much the biggest draw that I've seen in chat from people that are just like anybody's like, well, I kind of want to play casually. I'm not into that thing. And I mean, one of the things I'm going to be doing, which we've joked about, is I'm going to be streaming the co-op mode, offline
Mm.
co-op. Um,
That is the one good change they made to that. Or not changed, but just something that they're actually stressing this time around is that you can actually do co-op on those. Because
yeah.
before
So
it was just kind of put in there like, oh, I guess you could, and it was like it feels like now they're trying to make that more of a mode. And like looking at the map for the branches and how big it is, that's insane.
yeah. So that's the
That
thing.
thing
Like,
is fucking huge.
yeah, with the whole like story co-op offline mode, I'm like,
It's
yeah, let's
very
go.
it's
Mhm.
very reminiscent of the branch maps from Zeta versus Gundam, like Gundam versus Zeta Gundam.
Yeah, Gundam versus A, and that's the thing. I'm like, dude, this is gonna be
Fun game.
awesome.
Like
Like,
they're not what ifs in the same mode. Like they're not saying a lot of like weird hypothetical shit in them, but it's just that's all different scenarios. And there's each panel in certain spots has different difficulty versions of scenarios that have completely different suit setups and stuff that you can take on. So they got some shit going on with that, and I'm excited to see what else they do with it.
yeah, like that's honestly that's probably the like most exciting thing I to play it is and stream that is doing that whole like, oh, let's go this way, oh, let's fight this, okay, let's go back and do this one,
Yo, I saw someone just drop a platinum emblem in my game. Holy shit.
Ah,
Well, noises.
I just heard a well.
Me in there. Yeah.
Well noises. Where?
I want to say the name.
Well noise intensifies. Um, but yeah, so I mean, hopefully they make it better, and that's the good thing is they change a lot in this game, which is I think a good thing. Like I love that they change maps around. Like you don't see maps getting changed too often in a lot of games. I love that they, change some crazy stuff. Sometimes stuff that they change that doesn't make any sense, but at least they're trying things. So, I mean, technically with this, we've noticed that the actual missions for DP and stuff technically got better. So, maybe 6 months down the road, it only takes you 1 or 2 months to get fully upgraded or something.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
So if that's the case,
They may
then
have plans for it.
yeah. So like it keeps like again we my biggest issue is like for new players, right? The new players getting into this game, they're like, okay, so what do I need to do? And then they're gonna go to Reddit or wherever, and somebody's gonna be like, well, you need to do this, and you need to do this thing, and then you need to upgrade this, and then it's gonna take you 7 months and whatever. And
Good luck.
I,
Yeah.
I played Eve Online. Like a 6 month
Oh
wait
God.
time. The 6 month
Oof.
wait time for me is nothing because
But that's also why a lot of people don't play
but
Eve
that's
Online.
also why a lot of people don't try to because they're like, I want to fly that giant big ship. Well,
That's why they
first
always had to like
you need to start
push
over
the free
here.
events and stuff for Super Slime in there, and like why they had to open up Eve Online so much. It's
Yeah.
because those wait times and like process trees that were just so like, uh, maybe not.
Well, now you got like skill farmers and so you can actually kind of just
Mhm.
pump time into your character without actually spending time, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
So
especially like I feel like in games like that when there's like it's so storied and there's so much stuff going on, having things like that that kind of skips the time is just nice.
yeah. Well, and
Like
the
I
thing is,
feel
you
like at
can
that
lose
point
it.
it's not P2W, right? Yeah, and you could
Yeah,
lose it too.
that's
But
the
like
big
if you
thing.
fuck up, like if you catch that hubris because oh I got all this stuff, like guess what? There's a million other dudes who sweat at this game who are like a million times better than you, and you'll just lose it forever.
And that's the
There's
big deal.
consequence to it.
Like that big ship over there is cool. Yes, I like big ships. It's cool, but get in this fighter and learn to fight just noobs first,
Mhm.
and then go to your cruiser and same thing. Maybe skip the destroyer first because they're
And
kind
maybe
of
just
awkward.
pillage all those cruisers.
And then after you've died a million times and lost nothing, then you go to a bigger ship because and that's the thing. Then your character has to build skill. So while you're building skill to actually play the game, because a lot of people are
Your
like, it's
character's building skill to
this is
actually play the game
boring
better,
point and click.
easier.
I hit F1, I click. It's actually like if you're doing like a fighter fight or even some
Mhm.
certain cruisers, you're looking at your transversal to their angle that they're flying. So you're clicking, moving the camera around, changing your angle, and you're just watching all
Alright,
these numbers change. And then
hold up, because like, what you just said is literally what, like, a lot of people were saying in this game with the whole stun into melee thing when this first dropped in the West. And, like, we understand those nuances of, like, how things change from beat to beat, and I bet you that's kind of how a lot of those people felt too. It's, like, just a different game, but, like, the nuances are different. So, yeah, that's totally legit.
yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that makes sense. But like, you know, once you learn that, then you go buy that shiny ship because
Mhm.
then you know what you're doing and you're probably not going to lose it as much. Unless you're like a friend of mine who decided to buy $2,000 ship right out of his pocket. I don't know. He lives in Europe and I don't know. He probably has some crazy job. But point being, he drops like
Mm.
20 grand on the game every year. Um,
Oof.
but like
Oof.
which I don't know if he still even plays. But the thing is, he spent 2,000 on one ship and he almost lost it. Like he got it caught that day. Like that was
Just
2 grand, literally
booty
just
flinches.
dropped, and it almost went poof in an hour.
Mhm.
That was
Like
probably that was probably a rough ass fight then. God damn.
yeah, like he bought like a super carrier or it was a carrier. I forget how much. I think it was a super carrier. Um, and then like yeah, we saved it, and he was just like, "Thank you," and a lot of people were like,
Yeah.
"You're a
I
fucking
love you.
idiot," but at the same, but like
He
that's
still got
that's
saved.
that's one of the draws to the game is if you
That's
lose
community
something,
stuff because
you
like
literally
there's
lose
actual
something.
stakes to it.
Yeah,
We talk about that a lot in this game too, where it's just like, the reason I play rated, even when it's just like rough sometimes, like there's literally the only stakes to the game other than just playing the game.
it's literally the
Is
only
like that
game.
fluctuation in points, right? So
Oh
like
yeah,
there's actual consequence to it.
like it's literally the only game. Sorry to for the super tangent on this, but it's
Mhm.
literally the only game that I've had over 1,000 people in like a TeamSpeak server.
I
Like
think it's important though because it's like we're talking about games that have like a really long or who have been forced to have a really long shelf life. Like Eve is old as fuck.
oh yeah,
And, like by comparison, even Gundam Gundam Online or MS Go is even older than this game is.
That is true.
And they've been going on that kind of tip for a hot minute. I can only imagine what this will be like if it actually does go a couple more years out before they even like consider 3. They do get that client. But I think having that kind of stuff and having those kind of systems going into it is important. So like maybe that's what they're trying to do with this extra hanger stuff, and it's just we're still too early on to see how it folds out in that way, or what other adjustments they might do in the future to make it a bit more involved or more like useful for people who aren't playing this for like 5,000 years.
Well, and
Like
then
there's a that they have hopefully
hopefully,
to poke around at this stuff, and then it might be a completely different game or system by the time that happens.
but to me it seems, and this is kind of my last thought on it, that every step that they add something, it just pushes new players farther and farther away.
Mhm.
Like,
I guess that's the difference, right? Like Eve has this ingrained player base that's been there for years, and they can kind of rely on them to be around. They're always trying to push for more newer people to get in there with those events and stuff, totally. But it's not the worst thing in the world if they don't get them. And I wonder if this game, do they feel confident in that like JP player base to always be around forever, no
maybe.
matter what they. And like maybe that's enough to for them to not worry about like the newer crew, even though they're like doing like GBO days. I think was their answer to that. I feel like that's
Yeah.
their
I
like,
mean, they're
"Come on through,
trying. They're trying.
like it." Like, they're definitely trying, but I don't know if it's, like has it been enough?
But like,
Especially as running, like, a low-end clan, like, I get a lot of those newer guys that come through because they wanna get those extra benefits, and then, like, a couple weeks out, their, account hasn't been touched
yeah.
for almost a month plus, and then I got like, "Well, I guess they're out. Goodbye."
Yeah, I did another
So I'm
purge recently, and I had to get
seeing
rid
that
of some of those.
from someone who's trying to, like, run an active clan even in terms of, like, the turnaround rate for certain newer players.
Yep. I
Like,
know exactly what you're
it's
saying.
not big enough of a pool, obviously, because it's literally, like, a group of 30, and that means that, like, it's maybe a handful of them at a time, but, like, I guess I just compared to how big this game actually is in the grand scheme of things, that still feels like, um, if that's happening in a lot of clans, then that's still a pretty good head count.
I mean, I do have some cycle back through, or I
Mhm.
have some like I know
And
a
that's
couple of
good.
people who have moved to other clans or whatever.
Mm.
Mhm.
And then it's just they came back and they just with some friends, and they were like, "Well, I'm over here because I'm like, oh, cool. Well, welcome back to the game. Like hit me up sometime because that's it, like is kind of interesting how people come back in waves, and I guess it's because they already have a base amount of stuff, but the amount of people that I just see come in fresh and then I've never heard from them again is just getting worse. And I think GBO days was cool, and some of them came back for that, and
Mhm.
then they were just
Right.
like,
The
"Well,
interesting thing is
I
that I
got
wonder how
nothing,"
many of
and
those
they
guys
left.
come in monthly, right? To that threshold where they're considered a returning player too.
That
And then they
too.
just do it all over again. So, like, that's another thing, like, how much of a revolving door is this game? Like, how many of
That's
those
an
guys are
interesting
actually
one.
coming back?
Yeah, 'cause that's a 45-day wait.
Yeah, and then
Yep.
you get your boxes, you're a returning player, boom, you get the bonus, and then you
But
yeet
that's the
out.
thing about it being a free-to-play game too, right? Like,
Mm.
when you know the events that you should be there for, there's little consequence in playing the game
Right.
every day.
Which, I mean, to use Path of Exile as an example, they come back right at the new league, and then
Yep.
after maybe the first month, most of those people have dropped off. So like I said, you'll see a 20,000 player spike at the beginning of the new league.
And it just plateaus and it's like a sheer cliff.
Yeah, so I mean it's pretty much this every time. So it's like super spike and then just gradually and then spike and then I mean that's if you look at the graph, it's just literally this every time. So like they that's kind of their method that they've went with, and then they have a lot of people coming back will then buy new stuff, and so
Mhm.
every company pretty much, depending on what your
Mhm.
producer overlords, if you
Yeah.
have them,
What your
um
marketing managers.
yeah, like want you to do.
The brand
But the
director.
thing is, if you're kind of doing it on your own, you just at the very least you've got to hit that mark of where are we fully sustainable, and if
Mhm.
they've hit that already and they're fully sustainable with the current staff and they're able to create new content and do well, then until they find a way to grow, then some of these, they, maybe they're suffering a little bit, so they're having to do this, which
Mhm.
I don't think they are.
No, because we
Um,
also have to remember that they're coming. This is a sequel to a game that they've already gone through a lot of this mess with before, and they've completely changed that system to where it is now. Like it's a very different game in the way that they do currency. Some of it's being brought back from the first game, just in a different way. But I'd like to look even between this game and GBO1 and see what some of the bigger differences are. Because some of it's been mentioned over time, but like having uh, a full on list between the two, like a comprehensive comparison, would be pretty neat.
and then kind of another thing, I think they've already hit that survival threshold, and now they're pretty much
Mm,
just, okay, we're gonna try this or we're gonna do this, and I think they're probably at that point to where they can get away with certain things.
correct.
And
I mean, that kind of rolls back a little bit to like how much time do you think they got with this iteration too?
yeah,
Hmm.
but
And like, will we notice when they realize that they're low on time? Like, are they just gonna clench down and just like, do your thanks for all the fish kind of shit and just give us a bunch of stuff on the way out? And be like, meet us in the next game, maybe if we have one.
I think a third would be pretty hype. But I
I'd be
definitely
excited.
want to see this live on for a decent while longer.
Hmm. Like it doesn't feel like we've been in here that long, but this is gonna be round 3. Like that's still
Anniversary
pretty
2,
crazy
man.
in and of
Yeah.
itself. That's
So,
wild.
which also, by the way, guys, probably should have had a celebration
Yeah, I mean,
podcast.
we haven't had a big newsletter about it yet, so like once that happens and it's actually in game like that, that's when we'll probably do it.
Yeah, I'd like to hear
Actually,
news from Kobe before I do any
Yeah.
anniversary celebration, which
yeah,
we'll
right.
we'll know the day before
First
it comes
things
out.
first, bud.
So
Start
anniversary
typing away,
event
bud.
starts
Let's go.
tomorrow
Oh my god.
Yeah.
By the way, it's actually this coming week. Okay.
for 2 weeks in, and we forgot to
sorry.
tell you about the events.
Whoops.
Oh, that's funny. Um, but yeah. Um,
It's funny because he was talking about I want this game to be bigger in the last newsletter, so
oh yeah, right.
it's pretty high. Oh boy, I don't know if you know what that means, but hopefully you figure it out when you get there.
Okay, so I was gonna go ahead and say let's move on, but I do have one other thing to mention, and if this opens up another tangent, then I am sorry. But with this, one thing that was mentioned in chat today was, what if they do 650 during the anniversary? What if like the O is a 650?
I think like I don't know, like 600 we'd
I
finally
think that'd be weird.
baseline
That's
600.
what I was saying. Like
I don't think they would.
I feel like the closest we get to 650 is like maybe Christmas, and
Maybe
even
double
then,
Zeta.
and
We're straddling the line, right? Again, comes back to the idea of how much more of a shelf life does this game have? Because they do have at least 2 more cost ranges, but 600 wasn't very fleshed out. 550 wasn't very fleshed out by the time that we got 600 either, though, and that's just like a pattern that we've noticed with the top cost, right?
Right.
It feels like they moved on to the top cost before they even had anything else in the last top cost, like actually fully fleshed out. So that's just been a pattern. Whether they'll follow that trend or if they'll even have enough suits to even fill out that stuff, because like they're obviously pulling from other things. They're pulling from that other manga in terms of what was it called? It's not the affair. It was something else for the last suit.
Katana?
Zeta
Something
Define.
defined, and like
Advanced
that's
Zeta?
literally the only for the Zero Shiki. That's literally like
Oh.
the only other unique suit from that thing. So it's obvious they're starting to dig a little bit deep.
Yeah,
So between MSVZ and whatever else they decide to get into.
I mean, I could even see them doing some advance of Zeta as well. Yeah,
I don't know if Advance is considered MSVZ to them or not, though. It
yeah.
feels,
I think it's separate. I'm pretty sure it is.
yeah, it'll be interesting when we see that distinction, like, because that's another thing they could pull from.
But I guess my kind of point too is, again, like, if they start pushing it too far up too soon, that's just going to alienate more newer players again.
What do you mean?
Well, like if so, even right now, right? I've got two
Mhm.
600 suits.
Yeah.
Period. That's all the 600s I have right now.
There's no entry level for new players
And there's not
outside of banner
the
rolls
first
for the class.
550 viable suit. You
No,
have to be.
they need to change the list of starter suits for that first roll, that bonus roll. They need to update that. It can't be the same old shit anymore.
Yeah,
They have,
like
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. They need to just make the DP store a bit more accessible.
apparently we do
they
get
need,
more suits on a starting account.
like as it is, all of those are super expensive. You know, for
Have
the
they
higher.
actually given you a like actual list of starting suits?
Apparently you do get more. I can't remember exactly, but no, Maniac around. I think Maniac was actually the one that was telling me about it. Like you
Yeah,
actually get.
because my thing isn't about you getting more; it's about the list being more diverse.
Well, and that's the thing. You've
Is
actually
that
got
what
some
we're
lower
talking
cost
about?
stuff, like up to like 300, but we need like a good 550 for people
Yeah, that's
because
what I'm saying. Like,
literally there's people that I know that's new already, literally this week that was in. It's like, well, I'm not playing today. Got another 600 cost.
yeah,
I'm like,
can't do it.
that sucks. And the only buyable, we just got our first buyable 550 suit last week. You know what that is? You remember?
I forgot.
The G3
Yeah,
is the first
and I mean,
buyable 550.
they did buff it, but I feel like that came in with that buff where it's like all the sweat lords are better with it, and like anyone else who looks at it is like, this sucks.
Well, I mean, you got to
It's
be
just
an
a
ensign.
Gundam. Like, fuck.
You got to be an ensign though to buy it. I think, pretty sure.
Yeah,
So
That's
even
fair.
then,
Play the video game.
so
Play the video game so you can play the video game.
yeah,
and like if
that's
they bump up a cost, then it's you got to get lucky and you got to get one of the banner suits if they bump up the cost. I mean, I don't know. So that's my thing. Like I feel like we're at a point to where 650 they can just throw a ton of stuff, or sorry, 600 they can just throw a ton of stuff in there, and then maybe when we get to double Zeta, then maybe you bump it up.
maybe that's the thing too, because like what we say MMO and what other people might consider to be an MMO is like very different. I think like MMO usually is just a shortener for MMORPG specifically,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and not something that's massively multiplayer online. And I feel like the way people look at how you play those games compared to a competitive online game like this is very different. Um, it's not as slow and plotting. You're literally just trying to get in and out for matches. But the progression and the way that this all kind of works feels a lot more MMORPG ish in terms of the way they want you to spend time, which is kind of interesting. I wonder if that's just a general like culture philosophy difference.
I mean, that's kind of as far as the shift to like games as a service kind of mentality
Mhm.
too is done that
Mhm.
as well. But yeah. Sorry for that extra little tangent there on that, but
Mhm.
I didn't know that was brought up today, and I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like if they did, we're gonna have to do. They'll have to do a crunch at some point, but
Yeah, is
because
it impossible for it to happen? No, but
yeah,
is it does it like be a bad idea? Kind of.
yeah, I see it as a pretty bad idea. Like that again, alienating newer players even further, and then I mean, I'm just saying that if they started expanding it too fast, then that's probably another reason for me to eat out because that definitely right now. I mean, I've got the MLRS level 2. If I didn't have the MLRS level 2, I'd think 600 probably would suck right now. I mean, I would use the MLRS, just really good at 550 even. But if I didn't
I know the
have,
game always gets better when you have the
Yeah, I
best
mean that is true.
mobile
yeah, I
suit
was gonna say
at
if
its
it
cost.
has your favorite suit, if you won the game, if you won the secret game, then if you
It's like what we were talking about before with like people getting clapped by like sweat lords. It's all shit and salt and vinegar until you're actually one of those guys.
yeah,
And in this case, it's just like, well, it's all um salt and vinegar until you actually had the game show you some mercy and give you a good suit. But that's the thing
pretty
is that
much.
you don't have control over that, and that's I think the frustrating thing for people.
So anyway, go ahead and get into some suit speculation and wrap things up. What do you guys think the next
Sounds
suit
good.
is? My answer's the same as last time. I have no
Same
fucking
here.
clue.
I mean, like literally, we're still waiting on the anniversary. it's gonna be some other weird suit, like, oh yeah, that's a thing, or oh, finally this other Mook suit. Like we might just get the Gaza. That wouldn't be a surprise. That doesn't seem
Assuming they
big
don't just
anniversary thing. So
mhm.
Transforming support that flies. That flies.
it,
That
it will
flies.
not
That
never happen.
flies. I remembered.
No
I
flying
remembered it
transformer
this
with three.
time.
It's
Oh, I almost
Hang on.
I'm
forgot.
gonna say the Masala
I could
as a
see that
general, of course.
as an Annie.
Assuming the anniversary doesn't start next week and we
Yeah,
don't find
it's
out about it until like 3 days before.
the day before.
My
God, remember when it used to be the day before the podcast that we find out?
Yeah,
When
right.
we
right.
Tuesday, like fuck. Everybody scrambled.
I could see us getting news on Monday.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
either we're gonna get news a week before or 3 days before. So I feel
It's
like
happened both.
Yeah.
We'll see which one they go with.
It's either next week we're talking about it or the week after we're probably talking about it for sure. But my pick is gonna be, I don't know. I think the Bound Dog's coming out during the. I'm calling that the support all the way. I mean, I don't know what else would be the transforming flying support.
We're running out of options for sure.
Yeah.
And eventually we're just gonna hit the point where like if it isn't there at that point, like it's just done. There's just no other
If they don't
option.
want to add any healing mechanics to it, the Methus could fill in that slot somewhat. Like if we lived in some kind of crazy world where they decided not to make it a raid for some reason, you could essentially just play it like the other suits in the game, except and like again, I think the Methus
It can essentially
would
just be
be
a yellow plant that doesn't bundle.
yeah, without a primary, you just have the quick shooting double beam rifle, very similar to how the Ashimar or not the Ashimar, the Hammurabi fires in the air right now. But that's just what it does normally. I don't know.
Sense.
Maybe in order to like give it a little bit more ground diversity. There's some weird noise. Maybe to give it a little bit more ground diversity, they have 2 modes of fire on the main weapon, or something. Yeah,
one's like a rapid shot, and then the other one's just like either a stun or a charge.
Yeah, maybe. Like it'd be kind of weird. Honestly, I would kind of like be able to finagle in a charge on the beams, but I mean, whatever. Balance trump lore. Am I right? But I think it would be one of those cases where it'd be kind of like in the same boat as the Mark III, where it's like it's a 3-star, it's a 2-star that they try to pass as a 3-star because it transforms.
There we go. Well, then here, let me
But
kind
it
of
could be something like
rephrase.
that.
Which I mean, we're kind of already there with this discussion. So let's rephrase it.
Cost range.
How about, what do you guys think is going to be the first native 600 support? Since we finally got one for everything else.
Palace Athena.
Yeah, if they try to make any of the big suits go for it, that'd probably be the one.
I'd say that would come out. I'd say, like I said, I think the Bound Dog would definitely be on the anniversary, and maybe
Bound Dog going support would be kind of amazing, but also like I'm sure a lot of people would be pissed.
And then there's Palace would also be anniversary worthy, I think, but I could see it happening before. And I kind of want to see
being like Bound Dog, Palace Athena, and Masala anniversary thing, maybe.
I think we're going to see the O and the Cubile anniversary.
I hope so too.
I mean, if
because
we don't,
I'm hoping that we get an updated title screen with the O and the Cubile on it.
Oh,
yeah,
damn!
It's not.
Yes, please.
Stardust and Friends anymore. It's the Zeta Boys.
Yep, we moved on to Zeta. We need to get a new title screen for it.
I'll take that. Let's go.
Did the new one drop on the anniversary too? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it did. So, okay. Sounds good.
Down for that.
But yeah. Okay, that sounds good. Those 3 actually would be good 600 supports. So yeah. Anything else, or we want to get into some shoutouts?
Let's shout it out.
Okay. Gustav_13 X triple I. Still playing Sun Sky as our secondary game. Eventually we'll move on to Yakuza Kiwami 2. Doing our dailies every day in GBO2 as well. Trying to get our clan up there, so GS3. If you guys are looking, we're recruiting.
If you're looking, Gustav is buying. And I am GamingEmblem. We stream on internet at twitch.tv. Playing Battle Operation, mostly going to Battle Operation, Fantasy Star Online 2. I'll be playing the light version of Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles with somebody when they bought a full game, so that I can stream the full game for free. Oof.
So when is that out?
Times are rough, man. No, August 27th.
Oh, okay. Okay. We good. We got it.
Who's buying the game so everyone else can bum off of them? Let's go ahead and
shit right there.
let's get this out of the way right now. But
wait.
yeah,
So how does that work?
Internet's video game's fun. Essentially, if the light version, it's kind of like a glorified demo where when you're playing just the light version itself, you have access to the first 3 missions essentially. But if you are playing online, but you're able to play online with other people. But if you're playing at all with someone that owns the full version of the game, they give you access to the whole game as long as you're playing with somebody that owns it.
Kind of like the old GBA days or Game Boy Advance days.
Yeah, with the link cable stuff,
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Dude. Okay,
like
let's go.
Just play for free. You didn't even need a cartridge or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, you could play like janky Sonic Advance stages as long as you were connected, or like the Mario Kart multiplayer.
Mario Kart was a big one.
Yeah, I had 4 of those, and like people would play. We'd be playing around. The little cord and Game Boy. It was silly.
The multi or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, video games. We'll be at it. I think it's pretty cool for like. I actually don't think I like it as much. Like it's awesome, but like in regards to like people doing stuff in the age of streaming, where like you have stuff. The people who are interested in the game, like depending on who they're watching, like if with those small streams, if you just want to be a viewer in some dude's chat, you can literally just play the full game with them. Because if you find the right people, they'll snatch you up. I was like, viewer engagement. Yeah, over here at GamingEmblem, where we don't care about that kind of stuff, it might not work as well. But like, you literally just download a free version of the game and you can play the whole thing with some random streamer guy.
I know that feel, dude. I've seen it. It hurts.
Hold on, what's that? I may have missed it.
It's not Gundam? Oh well, that stream's not gonna be today.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, that's just the very realistic thing of content creation, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no Gundam games. Let's see what's going on over here or whatever.
But yeah. By the way, you said GS3, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
GS3P.
Yeah, there we go. His clan match is coming up again on the 4th.
Of all days.
Of all days, yeah. Which I mean, again, they don't celebrate that. So
like that's for us.
Celebrate it with your hangover.
Oh boy.
Or play with your hangover, drunk pilots.
Your ways of fireworks. Oh god, already not looking forward to that.
It's already started. There's been a war zone.
That's gonna suck.
Like every now and then, if you've seen me like do this or like flinch a little bit, it's because there's been like, poof, and I'm just like,
that's awfully close.
But yeah. Anyway, as always, everybody's links and stuff will be down in the description below. But I'm EG Magnum, stream on Twitch, got a Discord, Twitter, YouTube channel, stuff like that. I'll be doing some possibly Phantasy Star Online 2 right after this, or Path of Exile. Well, for sure Path of Exile. But I thought I'd try to get some Phantasy Star Online 2 in real quick because of bonus stuff. And yeah, coming up, the next few days will be in Beyond, and then next week, main thing that's scheduled is the tabletop on Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, and again the podcast, 7 p.m. Eastern every Thursday. So let's see. Wow, guys, I have not had too many games this week.
Too many games.
I
Yeah,
mean,
you've been pretty focused in terms of PoE, at least the
Yeah.
last couple during the event.
I mean, that was filling too many games. But now that that's over with, and now I'm kind of like I can relax. We're gonna chill, and here's where I find like 3 other games to start playing over the weekend and be like, no, oh my
Steam
gosh,
sale.
don't remind me. No, where's my wallet?
Yeah, there it is.
No.
Still
Take my money.
It's going in the disk drive. Stop. Okay, please, no.
Don't eat it. Give him back his wallet.
Don't eat my wallet. No. Stop.
He eats it.
How does he even do that?
Real talk, property taxes hit over here, and I'm over like, well, good thing I've been saving that UE because it's gonna be coming in handy.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, all that. Leave us a comment down below of what you'd like to hear us talk about in the future. But anyway, that'll be it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Send help. BB Studios has found me.